possible. Here's our pre-race for tonight's
estimated
running.
SOS
We got ourselves a mile-and-a-half course here at Texas Four Corners. We are in sim at 2 p.m.
We expect to be
But it's going to
fighting
be that
for the
track
podium.
temp, that air temp. How will that fluctuate throughout tonight's race? That track temp is warm at 118 degrees Fahrenheit.
118.
But I'm curious on how the wind could also fluctuate as well throughout tonight's race. Here's your starting grid for tonight's running.
Top
of
field
the
is on the
board,
grid.
front row, gonna be the 8 of Brian McCann, grabbing his second pole of the season. Congratulations to that 8 machine. Gavin Rogers gonna be in second, with Larry Yingling in third. Colby DiCarlo gonna be in that 4th place position for the 22. Tanner Bethea gonna be in 5th. Great to see both of those rookies qualifying well. Shane Terrian will be in 6th. 7th, we find the 3 of Ryan Kelly. Shane Terrian's teammate, that's going to be Nico Garcia, who's going to have a great qualifying run for the 71. In 9th, we find the 00 of Brian Noel, and finishing out our top 10,
Texas.
it's going to be Robert's pick, the 31 of Thomas Green.
Starting in 11th place will be the number 20 machine of David Medina Sr. and Cedric Hunter in the Hello Kitty number 13th will be starting just outside him in the 12th position. 13th is Drew Jua back in the number 77, and Christopher Norris having a great qualifying run starting in 14th in the number 38 machine. Vincent Sora starting back in the 15th position, and
Somehow I got pole
Justin Malarkey.
twice in 1 week.
Talmadge,
Twice in 2 weeks.
starting back
Back
in
to back.
17th with Ollie Fonseca to his outside, starting in 18th. Pete Tart, the number 40 machine, starting 19th, and
5
20
cars
will be
left to
Cole
grid.
Sachet, 29.
Then going to be seeing
You have 4
ourselves
additional
driver
sets of
in
tyres for
that
this race.
20.
Be smooth
I'm gonna be
and have a
seeing
good
the
run.
driver in 2. I was getting all mixed up. In 21st is going to be
Why
Kevin
do we have
Campbell
left
in the
tires
15.
if
Nick
you're in the
Crawford
field?
going to be
Like,
in
did the
that
price of
22nd
rubber go
position
up?
for the 74. GT Rosari in 23rd.
It's all the exact same from
Starting in
last
the middle of
year.
that in
Probably based all
24th
the numbers
position with
basically.
Brian Kelly in
Doesn't say
25th.
they're the lap
Cody
numbers.
Reed, that cutoff driver in the points, 16th in points. He needs a good
Yeah,
run.
they've had 5
He'll
guys like
26.
every
Zach
season.
Hall,
So.
Alright, man, we're going green next time, bye.
At 32,
Alright, man, line up on the inside row.
Hey,
Pit
Jack,
road is
remember
closed.
dash 3 will change your luck.
29th, we find we see the 1 champion of Brian P.
Oh, fuck.
Johnson, and then the rookie number 4, Colin Carroll. Watch out for this Ford to
What
march his
fucking
way
doing,
through the
John?
field.
I'll be honest, the
Then
lap
we're
time
going
thing
to
is
be
kind
ourselves
of
in
pissing me off, but
31st
it's all right.
position. We find Ross Tatum in the 21.
Thank you, Chuck.
Danger in 32nd position.
Give you a good
With going to be
finish,
Christopher Wade in 33rd. 34th, we find the 50 machine of Samuel Garcia. Ben Kinney in 35th is the 98 machine. Brad Delph in 36th. 37th is the 2 of John
First or
Ford
second?
Corner, with
Why is
John
dash
Forbes
3 such a big
Jr., winner from
eyesore?
last week. He'll start deep in the field in 38th. 39th is Douglas Newbegin. It's going to be Layden Edwards, Steven Stimpian, Bart Morales, as well as going to be Ryan Ferraro and Nicholas Renner. Going to be those 44 drivers taking off here tonight. Only 43, though, can technically take off and go this evening. Just waiting on
Get ready.
officially that driver that makes it moving forward. Leaves sitting in pit road is still 3 drivers confused on where they need to be. That's
All right,
going to be
man.
Layden Edwards,
Race
Steven
cars
Stimpian,
in.
and Ryan Ferraro yet to leave pit road.
Green, green, green.
Give us confirmation on who is out of this race. Nicholas Renner and Mark Morales will be racing in. They are on track.
Outside.
And it's going to be Brian McCann up front
All
into the
clear, all
restart
clear.
zone. As your Cody Glenn Cox beer talking 150 is underway. We were expecting 43 drivers to take the green, only 41 able to do so, as we're back to green flag action as it continues to be these drivers take off and go. So far, we exit turn number 2. Everyone's clear. Richard, it is a clean start up front for the 8 machine.
Clean start indeed for the 8 as he takes and keeps that lead going. Great run by him and a great start. And these drivers are fanning out across this massive track of Texas Motor Speedway, but we get around lap 1, nice and clean. Drivers doing a great job to start this race off.
First, we're going to be really pressing up front. Larry Yingling wants to get that lead position, recognizing how clean air can be so critical here tonight. We talked about that a lot last week at Dover. Tire wear. You want to protect your tires as much as possible, but here tonight, I think opportunity to make passes, that's going to be the tough portion. These restarts, really the opportunity moments to make a lot of big passes. But Richard, once we get clean and green and everyone's spacing out, it just seems like in Texas.
Where's that right front at when you need it?
After these first 10 to 15 laps are over.
Yeah, it does get a little difficult to start making passes because everybody starts getting on the same tire wear, same tire strength. It's got to be the
Hopefully
one
my
that
steering
where you're
pinion
going
angle didn't change.
most also utilizing that arrow blocking basically.
No, I looked at it.
To make other people tight by just
You just
driving
hit the
in front of them,
flat.
taking their line away.
Oh, there we go. We got some right front grip that
Drivers that
time.
are worried about the same, you got to start looking, you know, different lines you can possibly take to get around something a little easier and not have to worry about that dirty air.
One driver you might be seeing that's not inside of the top 10 was given an EOL as we were leaving pit road. Now, I didn't think that anyone got a penalty, but this might have been an last EOL. Thomas Green is sent to the end of the line. That 31 is up already, the 35th position. He's got a lot of work to get moving forward. He's going to be trying to tag along with John Forbes Jr. as they move forward. Also, Douglas Newbiggie and RC, those
I can't get the angle though.
line, trying to march their way forward in by the new colors of the Four Machine. Oh, Carroll switching things.
Burning my right front up right now. These guys behind me are going to pass me.
He's now going to be switching it to the military colors. Here's our season 9 champion, Zach Hall, trying to make his way forward to the middle of the field. This is the current battle for 23rd position.
Very kind of a common thing to see Zach Hall of late. Really been struggling trying to get up through these fields because every time he does,
Sorry,
he
Cole.
always gets involved.
It's more the angle I want.
He's got the speed. Right now, it looks like he's just kind of being patient, not trying to push anything, be aggressive.
Oh, triple ahead. Let's pulls to Kenny. Big slide off the nose of the 16. Joshua Canada, a huge save for himself. But those tires are worn. They're stacking up. They're still piling to one another. Zachetti into the outside wall. Back across. Cody Reed going to be involved. And somehow it's only one driver spun around.
That was a very long wreck. I mean, Zachetti was having an issue controlling that car after he got a little loose off the nose of the number 16 of Joshua Canada. And then he was just fighting the car from that point on, just trying to keep it straight, trying to keep it under control. But he was losing a lot of ground, and then just coming out of the turn, got loose, could not get control of the car, and just gathered up another couple cars as well.
It was just a bizarre moment. Like I said, it started on the entry of turn 1. Then it was just catch, hold on. And ultimately, it's Cody Reed who had to come to a complete halt after his contact. And luckily for Cody, no contact to the outside wall, just a big slide for himself. It all came together when drivers were trying to duck low to avoid that 29 machine. But
hey, Colin, you want to let me know what my right front looks
like? You can
like?
see here for Cody, he's watching all the action ahead of him.
I sure can.
Driver of the 29
here,
gets spun off the nose, drifting away. There's no yellow flag, so you're just still trying to go full force, getting all these positions that look like scraps that you can take, and then it all goes wrong in a blink of an eye.
Now,
I mean, when you don't see the yellow flag, like you said, you're just trying to get as many positions as you possibly can, because track position,
on a scale of 1 to 10,
tires can be a big deal here. Track position is still really important. So if you can get those extra positions while you're still waiting for that caution to come out, I mean, do what you can while being safe as well. If you don't want to arc brake someone, that's never a good thing on anybody's part.
Get it.
But yeah, Cody Reed keeps it off other cars, keeps it off.
No, you're right, Chuck. I was plowing the right front
up tires you might come
for the first several laps.
Overall, not a terrible run for Cody Reed. I think
not quite. More like
a little bit more damage.
Somewhere in Pennsylvania.
I think that lap you're talking about, I got in sync with it and gripped up and hit the line right.
We are in New York with
tonight
that
our
girl.
luck changes, I believe. I mean, you're always
So, like,
believing
arrow
that
might be a problem, or
right there. I think he found some luck not being involved that right, having the right cabin.
Stage is at 35, so
drivers making the decisions. Do you want to come into
at least we don't have to do a 60-lap run on some tires I just messed up.
Logo looks like it's definitely a little bit on the spectrum.
We are just 8 laps in. You're not expecting drivers
So
to
it really
in
is
and take
Christopher
fuel and
Northridge.
tires.
Got
Some
it.
do come in and check out their vehicles. That will be
Your front end looks like a pair of butt cheeks. You should probably fix that. It's going to hurt you.
A fresh set of tires after his big slide. Samuel Garcia also.
So this thing's driving like a dump truck, and I don't have damage. So I can only imagine what that'll feel like.
Getting service done. As
Raccoons,
all right, man, we're going green next time by. All right, man, line up on the inside row.
Will be our stage. Only the top 10 get those bonus points, and bonus points can be so crucial. It can be the reason why you're in or out of the playoffs. But with the stage being so early, Richard, I'm always curious on how different leagues like to throw out the stages. I know for you racing on Tuesday
Only
nights with the
17
BRB
seconds.
Racing League, you guys have 2 stages, stage breaks you can get points at. I know other leagues where they like to have the stage at the halfway zone. We have WSSR where it's early. Is there kind of a preferred zone for drivers, or is it just you get what you get from whatever league you're in?
I also think it's just to get what you get. Some drivers kind of look for leagues that don't have stages or do have stages. I mean, here it's very unique. They only have one stage caution. It gives a very long second part of the race, which is very unique, I think. I know my race on Tuesdays, we have 2 stage breaks, and it kind
Just
of
close your eyes and hope.
Sort of unknown, but like one thing I know for me, I would probably never race in a league that has.
Teammates are worried about tire spin here.
It doesn't really change strategy up very well. It's not really much of a wrench in people's plans. It's just kind of like literally 2 races
Get ready.
at the same distance. So, I mean, I like both ways, the one stage and 2 stage. It just depends on how you like racing and what your plans are and your strategy.
All right, man. 8 cars in.
As you can see how different leagues thrown out, but for WSSR,
Green flag, green flag.
Without stages, we've had arrows with stages a little bit leaner. Now they're in the sooner stage. As we've got ourselves, first stage ends at the end of lap 35, unless there's a caution between 30 and 35 as green flag is back out in the air. Brian McCann, Captain Rogers getting those front 2, and Rogers
you get a
taking
hold for
full
entering a
advantage
close
on the
pit?
fact that he was
That's
right
dumb.
behind our leader, already up to second, and Larry England caught sleeping. He'll fall from second down to 4th place as they exit at turn number 2.
Clear low, clear low.
That's
Captain Rogers, a great move to take back that second place where he
Or that's
started.
like-
He's
That was way too easy on that start.
lead
the low
from
side.
Brian McCann as he
Clear,
goes
clear,
low.
clear.
He might be able to take the lead. He does.
The
He
lead is
clears Brian
30.
McCann.
I guess you can go harder when the tires are warmed up.
All clear, all clear.
I was thinking they cooled off more. Whoops. I was gonna get past anyway, so we're good.
Driver in line to try to pressure our leader. You're also seeing hard racing.
Now I get to practice some draft.
For the 2-time WSSR champion, racing with Tanner Mathea, who continues to put the pressure side by side. And
Unrealistic, I'm gonna lead the whole time.
affiliated with Lucky Ducks. It's fun. You're seeing the different styles.
All right, man.
Some
Caution is
drivers
out.
are in
Caution is
lead,
out. Line up
zero
single file.
fear
Pit
of
road
who
is
they're
closed.
racing around. Others take a little bit more of a calm approach, trying to show a little bit more
I'm gonna
respect
come down
around.
to
It's
the
caution in
dirt,
the back, and it's a pretty
maybe
nasty
more
one.
than-
Multiple drivers involved, heading into the grass or a few.
Man, we gotta start checking
And
the
a
fuck up
big
for
caution here
Rack.
early
Jesus
on in this
Christ.
first stage. Getting a little bit ugly for 2
Yeah,
cautions
certainly some
already in the
attempted
first 12
arc breaking
laps.
going on, for
That was
sure.
Another wreck that kind of looked really long. A couple of drivers got
Doing
into
good,
each
guys.
other in the middle of turn 3 and 4, and then it just kind
feel
of
like 40
evolved
seconds is
into,
bullshit.
you know, a little bit of chaos. Everyone
fact
just
that
trying to
the
get
black,
the car under
third
control and
place
get the
for
grip back underneath, but
avoiding
this hot
accidents
track
going down pit road.
condition tonight is really proven to be an issue with these cars being stable.
Josh, how hard did you
Once
hit
you
me?
get loose, it's like you can't gather that car back up because those tires get really hot and they get really slick.
I didn't think I
Looks to
did.
be around the 41 of Ryan.
I went right past you on my
Gonna be,
Pit road is now open.
yeah, right here, Ryan. Gonna be Ryan Rochelle.
I think I got
Excuse me, Kyle
like a
Rochelle.
between
gonna
2
be
and 4.
out with Ken Campbell as well, and into one another, and then everyone
Yeah,
just
it gave me a
spacing
4,
around,
but
trying to avoid the
I don't
wreck
see
the
any
best that
damage.
they can.
I'll check on her.
A little bit nerve-wracking for a moment, but here's another look at it. I mean, Richard, all these drivers fighting for position. And big block by the 15 on the 41 as they
Yes,
try to
please.
force the issue into turns 3 and 4.
Yeah,
Alright,
it was a
Cody.
very big block going into turn 3 and 41. Just
Yeah,
looks
I mean,
like
he looked normal from
lost
back
a little
here,
bit of
but-
his control of his car and turned right up into Ken Campbell. And then you see right there, Ken just trying to gather the
Pretty
car
clean.
back up, was lost
I like
slower
it.
than everybody behind him, and it's just it caused a traffic jam in a parking
road is
lot
closed.
almost. And everyone just kind of driving at full speed, and just gets caught up, and just a whole bunch of bumpers into bumpers, and that's what we've got the spins here.
A bunch of drivers getting involved with that one, but luckily not enough drivers getting required damage. Looks like little bumps here and there. A few seconds of optional damage you have to deal with. We're going to see a few. Try to check up and see how bad the damage is looking. It's going to be about from 26th on back. Take the back 30th on back. Every all the drivers going to be coming into pit road. Starting off with Ken Campbell as well as Cole Sketty. And just check out how bad is the damage. Maybe think
So
about getting tires
3 cars
for stage point.
didn't start.
As drivers were given 5 total sets to work with. 4 sets are in pit road. You start with 1 set, and the drivers are. I mean, with 2 quick cautions.
1 car
out,
a lap, 2 lap down.
if
Everybody else is on the lead lap, but
drivers
there's
go with that
like
hard,
10
aggressive push
cars
and
in
test
the
on,
pits right now. I'm
are
assuming for
tires
damage.
even worth grabbing this early on?
Yeah, it's going to be
So
interesting.
that's 10 cars with damage already.
Test it out though here in the first stage, because yeah, you might miss out on stage points, but you get a lot more points the further up you are with a better strategy at the end of the race. So it's a great time to test strategies, see what tires can do, if newer tires are going to be that much of a difference.
Would be beneficial to go green to the stage here. That way we can see what tires are going to do,
He's going
because
to burn them down just to get back.
I need to learn.
And And you want to talk about testing things out? Why not test out?
That's what the broadcast is talking about too.
We have our today's sponsor, the Cody Glenn
All
Cox.
right, man, we're going green
newest
next time
song,
by.
as it is the
All right,
Cody
man,
Glenn
line up
Cox.
on the
You're
inside row.
talking 150. You're talking. It's going to be Cody Glenn Cox's newest song to come out. This race is presented by that singer-songwriter of Cody Glenn Cox, who was born and raised in southeast Oklahoma. He is a rising star in the country music world. Go check out his most recent project to be released, Beer Talkin'. It's out now on all music streaming platforms. It's that fun summer song that you're wanting to fill up with some upbeat,
Y'all gotta go by me.
lyrics,
Flip me down.
melody that will just capture your carefree and joyful spirit of the summer. Cody has an opportunity to open up with some iconic country music artists like going to be Wade Johnson, as well as Walker Montgomery and the Joe Stem Band. It's currently open. He is currently opening up with Randy Travis and his War to Life tour across the U.S. Go check out the incredible music today of the Cody Glenn Cox music. Thank you for Cody for sponsoring today's race. It is awesome to hear. I was listening to it earlier today. It's a fun little jam that can catch your
Pat on my
ears
shoulder.
very quickly. Again, go check out and listen to Beer Talkin' later on after this race.
Get
As
ready.
the drivers are stacked up, we're about to go green flag racing. 15 laps have been completed so far of 150. Still a lot of racing to
All right,
go.
man.
It's been the swapping of
Pace
our
cars
top four on where they want to be placed. Brian Kelly's moved up
Green,
5
green, green.
positions early on, but it's that driver on the outside. Can they hold that position, or will you lose spots
Got one
quickly?
outside.
Into the restart zone goes
Stay
Gavin
low.
Rogers as we are green once again for the Cody Glenn
Stay low,
Cox.
there's a car on the high side. All clear, all clear.
Good run, but it's side by side for second place.
Oh.
Down in turn for one.
Hold on.
Great launch for Gavin Rogers to take that lead right back after that restart. The only problem he's going to have to worry about is maybe the run to Ryan Cole and outside with the traffic. That outside line didn't get much of a good start. There's a few cars that were kind of pushing each other, trying to get each other to start a little sooner, it seemed. But Gavin Rogers, great control of
The
that
lead is to
restart.
31.98.
Flag and keeping it clean.
Alright.
Clean for now, so the bigger movers so far inside our top
Outside.
10 is going to be the 51 of Vincent
I
Sora.
got a huge run on him for some reason.
Job the pink machines.
Stay low.
That's going to be seen. The Hello Kitty 13. Cedric Hunter going to be forced through wide for a quick moment.
Still
Larry
there.
Yingling on the
You're clear
outside
high,
groove
clear high.
as they are going side by side all around up front. The only driver I think that's in a comfortable position
You're in
might be
second.
Gavin Rogers, who leads this thing. Everyone else, they're fighting a climb for every position at this moment. As you're seeing Tanner Bethea falling back. Other drivers that have fallen back quickly. It's going to be you.
Yeah, one
Senior.
inside.
He's lost 7 positions. As
Still
everyone
there.
around
Hold
them,
the line.
the drivers that started
Car in the rear gets a big pull out of that
clear, all
turn.
clear.
inside of the top 20. You're seeing here the one machine.
Why does the car behind get such a pull out of two?
To the inside to be Douglas Newbigging as he saw an opportunity to get
The
by
car is
82.
P1, just at the
That's
positive
going to be
left.
seen. That's a major kicking out
30.37.
with Thomas Green, who took the really well. He currently is in a spot where he's fighting forward
AB.
as well. And I mean, this is just chaos all around the track. Drivers moving forward, those falling back. And I got to say, Richard, it looks like it's that always changing balance of drivers that are saving and those that are in attack mode going on right now.
Yeah, it is really interesting to see, when these drivers decide to kind of flip their strategy. Who's in the attack mode currently, and who is under the saving strategy? I mean, honestly, I think saving your tires is probably going to be the biggest benefit here. Even though right now we've still got, I think, 15 laps left, so this could be go time. It's time to kick these cars into overdrive and get up to that top 10 if your goal is to get those
Drivers seeing opportunities to move forward because of that higher saving strategy. Even with Richard Bush out so far here tonight, Machina Chantarian currently runs 10 at this time. You see Jua right in front of at 77. Tilted by Machine. Where will you go for the 9? It looks like it's just going to be following in suit. Other drivers of note, Louis Reed in second position. He's the first driver who took 4 tires under this previous caution. And we'll keep an eye out on how well the 25 hit advance.
Driving real bad right now for a long run. Hopefully I can just maintain what I got and reset.
But up front, everyone just in line as they try to
Doing real good out of 2. Struggling out of 4.
Looks like they're just kind of keeping it calm, keeping it in line. Not trying to challenge anybody for position really in the top 10, but times are starting to slow down. I can't tell if that's driver choice or if it's tire wear.
That was a lot better that time.
20 laps in, so this second part of the race, the final stage, that's going to be really interesting to see what the drivers do to tell what the tire wear is going to be like for the later run.
Seeing our winner from last week and last season's champion, John Forbes Jr., marching his way forward, trying to get by Pete Tartan, the 40 machine. That W machine tried to run high on the outside, but Forbes started 38th. Also, Douglas Dewey starting all the way back in 39th. And they have just been a tandem, staying on the inside groove and taking positions with drivers run to the high side, which it seems like it's just a misjudgment of turn 1 that just blossoms into an opportunity for drivers to go for a big pass.
Yeah, huge pass trying to get the momentum and whatnot. These guys are here side by side. You're going to be wearing out those tires a lot more than those that are single file, so they don't want to stay side by side very long. I mean, the inside line might get the quickest way around the track, the shortest way around the track, but typically that outside line, once they get out of the turn, they're going to get a huge run. As the 31, huge run on the backstretch going into turn 3, went from the wall to the inside lane of the number 7, Douglas Newbigging. Gets a little bobble there on the inside and loses all that ground that he gained.
I thought we were going to see a deja vu from our first caution of the day after Survivor hitting the apron. As it's going to be a clean save and run for Thomas Green, but lots of time for himself. As now they'll see the pressure of Cody Reed, as well as see Dave Medina right behind.
I'm pushing my right front. Ron's going to pass me. He's saving his right front.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
What are we
He's also
doing?
shifting.
Road is closed.
Nine times I've gotten arctic brake in 4 races.
Better
It's
than
ridiculous.
most, as oh no trouble, gonna be for the
Let
one
the
machine
gate
as well as
go by
others.
here.
The grouping we were just following, it's gonna be Brian P. Johnson spun around as drivers just checked up through 3 and 4.
Douglas Newbigging.
Yeah, Ron's going to
Stopped
beat
on
me
the
big time on the
stretch
long run. I got to
Oh, that's another
I was
driver
hard on
involved
him,
in this.
redo what I'm doing
And it's
here.
just the cars getting into
I had no
idea they were
started
arguing over
this.
in front of me.
22 got
Yeah, I'm staying out.
tapped in the left rear quarter panel. There is what started this whole chain of events.
Is that the stage?
Side-by-side racing between Christopher
No, not
Norris
stage.
at 22 of Colby DiCarlo just came together through the center of
Also, a friendly reminder to everybody that's a road
Everyone
person
else
next week.
behind them
So unless
are the ones
you
that really
basically
took
want
the
to
brunt of
screw
this
your
all.
entire race next week, I'd
As you're
recommend
going
not
to see
arctic
riding on board Douglas Newbigging, just trying to stay attached, still trying to follow John Forbes Jr., who's 2 cars ahead of him. And it all just stacks up with the 22 and the 38 getting together here. Everyone
Yeah, a lot of people shifting in practice. I shifted in qualifying.
Everyone accordions into one another.
But long run, once we get these tires hot, the right rear just
Yeah, it looked like the 22
seems to die.
The turn just a little bit too hot, pushed up a little bit into Norris, and then just not able to keep the car straight.
Right now, I guess I'm assuming because of the draft, I'm just plowing the right front.
And it's almost impossible to save these cars. They
So I
lose
do
a
need
lot
to back
ground,
off of that a little bit.
And just keeping that car straight is a challenge for a lot of these drivers, it's seeming. But hopefully not a lot of damage for a lot of those drivers involved, like Brian P. Johnson and Douglas Newbigging. Hopefully they can get out there, get that damage fixed, and get back out on track and challenge again.
Cluster drivers involved in other incidences, just trying
I
to
didn't get a lot of
through.
practice in the
We
draft.
do have one driver that was bounced to the back and out of the session for a quick moment. That's Samuel Garcia, right when the yellow flag came out. Loss of packets, was knocked out of the server, currently 2 laps down. Trying to get back on.
So we'll look at what our tires is at the stage.
Just hoping to get a
Make some driving adjustments.
As 76 really lapped down with early troubles of getting damage repair. Went a lap down, hoping to get at least one, maybe both of those laps back to get back on the lead lap currently.
But I can hear that right front screaming.
Where these drivers will go as this run continues on. I want to say thank you to all the amazing sponsors that come around and help out with the WSSR. We've had a couple that have stuck around for multiple seasons. It's been great to have Trophy Smack. Has been the trophy provider since season 4.
All right, man, we're going green next time by. All right, man, line up on the inside row.
Championship you got. That went to Vincent Sora for season 4 and 5. Larry England got his own ring. Season 6. Benjamin Nelson went back-to-back on trophies, and Zach Hall got a championship trophy. And then last season was John Forbes that got to hoist the WSSR VRS Cup Series championship. But for this season, we'll get there next. Also, other want to say thank you to GTR Simulators, who's been another great sponsor to have around with the WSSR the last couple of seasons. New sponsors with us. Again, the new title sponsor being the Virtual Racing School. Check out the virtualracingschool.com and see all the different products on how they want to make you become the best driver possible on the virtual track and beyond. We also want to say thank you to Sim Precision Prints, 3D printing service to help you get the best sim gear possible. If you're looking for products to help you become more precise on your sim racing, go check out Sim Precision Prints today at simprecisionprints.shop. And also want to say thank you to the new camera provider for the freaking last crew for this season of the WSSR and also ISRC, being Whiplash Simcams, who also is our biggest mover award winner. We're getting close to halfway. We'll see who is that current Whiplash Simcams biggest mover.
Green.
He spun!
Here's Ryan Noel going to be the top two.
Got one outside. All right, man. You're back in second. The lead is on 32.382. All clear, all clear.
The 8 of Brian McCann tries to follow in his tire tracks as he gets by the 00. It's the fight for third.
That was like ice.
Yeah, it's a 6-lap shootout for this stage, and Gavin Rogers back out at front, commanding lead over everyone. He's doing a great job on these restarts. But it is a Hornets that's back here with Larry Yingley, Brian Dewell, Brian Kelly, and the 78 machine of Tanner Bethea. These guys are fighting for these stage points and keeping it side by side, giving us one heck of a show at the end of the stage.
Larry Yingley just trying to herd the sheeps behind him as much as possible and trying to gain as many points as the 67 can. They all stack up 2 by 2. This is when things can get dangerous if not everyone's aware of where your competition lines up. Up front, Gavin Rogers, though, in a very comfortable zone. But with us getting into lap 30, if there is a caution that happens at any point before we finish lap 35, that will also count as our stage ending. So this is where it all
Need to use more brake there.
to make these passes. It's that driver that's in 10th place. Currently, is the 27 of Jared Talmadge.
These laps are going to tick by really quick. But the only driver that's really comfortable right now is Gavin Rogers with that 4/10 to the lead over that of Brian McCann, where everybody else is pretty much on top of each other as they're trying to get to that top 10. As Cedric Hunter sitting in 9, Jared Talmadge in 10.
Sorry,
Shane, on the outside looking in, is trying to get around that of Jared Talmadge to get that one last bonus point for the stage. And he does.
Yeah, Stroll up in front. Going to be a big slide for the 9 of Shane Terry, and as well as the 13 of Cedric Hunter got squeezed into a 3-wide situation. They both keep it together. Well, that could have been the caution that ended this stage. And the 9, we talk about it every week, the one controller driver here tonight. I think having the joystick might have helped them save that vehicle with how out of shape he was on the front stretch. We stay green, and with the big slide, it now straightens everyone up. We're now seeing Zach Hall, also Cedric Hunter, going to be the only 2 side by side in our top 15.
Just got into the top 10 and then not able to keep that car fast and straight. Got a little loose involving Cedric Hunter as well. Drops him out of the top 10, but he's got to charge back up there right along with Nico Garcia, who is now the one on the outside looking in from Ollie Fonseca. Nico, a rough start to the season for him. We know he's got speed, and he is looking to gather some bonus points here if he can get around Ollie Fonseca with 2 laps to go.
Hold on.
Start the season. He just wants to finish a race. Getting stage points would be even more massive for this 71 team. But he's watching a guy with a car.
Larry could have passed me there.
On a show. That being Ryan Kelly, Sora, Hannah Bethea. They've been going back and forth, well, practically wallbang one another. And it's the 51 and 78. They have been attached somewhere one another's vehicles. It's been bumper to bumper. It's been side by side. And Bethea trying to get side by side with that outside wall. Slight contact, losing ground. But we're on the last lap of the stage. It's all Gavin Rogers, but it's all the fight from 4th on back that's given us the show of who can get these final stage bonus points as Ollie Fonseca looks good as he stays ahead of Nico Garcia as Gavin Rogers about to be exiting out of turn number 4.
Rogers exiting out of turn 4.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file.
Looks like
Road is
Nico
closed.
Garcia.
What's a 3-4?
They are still
No, 2-3-4 for points.
Trying to get to that 10th point. Shane Terrian, a huge surge, and he will get 10th place to finish the stage.
somehow
Some good points.
by a 1/1000th of a second. Terry will take that one bonus point. Now the timing of the yellow, he will not keep that 10th place spot, but at the crossing the line, he was in 10th place. What a late surge, big wiggle by the 24 and the 9 capitalized. But ultimately, Gavin Rogers is going to be the driver who enjoys the big bonus points. 10 bonus points for himself, 9 goes to second of Brian McCann.
I think I got you by a
7,
freaking pube
8
hair,
goes to third, and it continues to dwindle down 1 point
I
per
can't
position
hear
until
my
he gets to 10th place,
TV,
which is 1 bonus point. But man, did it give us entertainment.
You fun the shit out of me last week. You couldn't let me have one goddamn point.
2 cars behind me, Larry Yingling and Ryan Kelly.
Spectacular runs all
anyway.
throughout
Let
the
me have
field. Congratulations to Gavin Rogers on grabbing his stage win.
Number 67 and number 3.
Richard, you talked about him being your pick, your driver to watch out for. He is hunting for their win, and it looks like here tonight he's setting himself
I can hear him in my ear, but they're not coming through the stream.
Really well. You know, I talked to him last week after that 3rd place finish at Dover, and you know, Gavin and I were really good friends. We raced together in another league as well, and you know, I was talking to him. I was telling him, you know, I'm the one that kind of brought him, you know, suggested him come to the WSSR VRS Cup Series because the competition here is definitely matched to what Gavin's skill set is. And he, you know, he's a road course ringer here. He's won almost every single one he's been at. And, you know, he's just trying to chase that first oval win. He wants to get it done at a bigger track like this. And so far, he is showing he is here and he's ready to do it.
He certainly is here, and it has been a joy to watch him grow as an oval driver. And I know for the WSSR, they've watched Gavin in all those other leagues, and they were always curious, where would he stack up on Wednesday nights? And he is stacking up to be one of the faster drivers when it comes to qualifying.
Ooh, I saw 47, no speed.
Of that all-time list.
Good. We're good.
Trying to climb the winning list as quickly as possible. Drivers leaving pit road.
John, did you pit?
It's a battle on who's going to be in 4th. That will be Gavin Rogers,
So,
Larry Yingling.
who said they had 89?
Do stay out.
Or Josh,
With
one of you.
caution. With only 6 laps to go before the stage was over. A few drivers took that opportunity to go into pit road. That was Cody Reed, John Force Jr.
I was 86.
Kanata taking the opportunity. They stay out, and they're going to be on slightly old tires. What a run for
I noticed you were a little better on the long run, so it's that right front.
Racing action here from Texas for the Cody Glencock. You're talking 150. It's been a pleasure to give you the call so far. Stage 1 is done. We'll be back for more Texas racing for the WSSR VRS Cup Series Season 11, Race 4 here from Texas. We'll be back right after this.
All right, man, we're going green next time by. All right, man, line up on the inside row.
We're talking about the shift strategy. They're saying some people just go down in 4th and turn 1 and then shift up in the back stretch and run 5th around 3-4. It's probably not a bad idea. Because coming out of 4 is loose if you don't do it just right. And going into 1, it helps you get into the corner if you downshift.
Get ready. The pace car is in. Green flag, green flag. You got one outside. Stay low. Stay low, there's a car on the high side. You're clear high, clear high. Outside. You're on the bottom 3 wide. Hold your line. Hold your line. Outside. 2 wide there. All clear, all clear. You're in fourth. The leader just did a 32.152.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the WSSR VRS Cup Series. Thank you for being patient with us. We're going to go full screen for a quick moment as you are watching the Cody Glencock Spear talking 150. And currently, it's a Cody up front. It's Cody Reed taking the gamble, staying out on the older tires. Same with John Forbes. They stay out. Joshua Kanata was the third driver that took that chance to stay out. He has already fallen to the clutches of French Rubber back in fifth position. For the top two, Ryan there makes the stay up front. And Richard, this has been looking pretty good for those drivers. They're keeping decent pace with Gavin Rogers catching up, and that's the fastest lap with old tires on the one of John Forbes, and also he just got damage repaired.
Yes, they did a great job at keeping those tires nice and clean at the end of that stage. They knew they had damage that came in when it took the tires off the stage, basically.
Dude, can none of you guys see that we're checking out at all? Like, what do I do?
So, they do a good job, is we got to spin in the back of the field.
Let the 8
And that
car
looks like
by.
it's Tanner
Let
Bethea,
the 75
78,
car
going to be
by.
going
He had
around,
the
and he
position
has
when
been
the yellow
having
flag
some
came out.
troublesome fight with his
flat
vehicle, and it
right
looks
there,
to be through 3 and 4. Another
I just
bad
don't know what
bump
we're
in the
doing.
center of the corner on the inside that just reaches
road
out
is
and
now
takes another
open.
vehicle.
Yeah, it's starting to look like, I don't know if they're hitting the apron or if there's just a
Get
small
run over
bump
once
there
and get
in
run
3
over
and 4
again.
that's
Like,
just
hit the fucking brake.
upsetting these cars.
What I do to prevent that is just turn left more on the exit. Don't get this close to the wall.
There, did not
I mean, I
know
was
he
committed to the
succeeded,
turn
like,
already, and you cut down
Yeah.
super
just
late.
trying to chase that car around. He kept
Because there's
it
like a
going.
transition to a flat spot.
Cars
That's what
spun
does it,
around
seems
himself.
like.
He's able to keep it off the wall for the most part. Just some tires, call it a day.
I mean, I was
Not
clear
bad for
low.
Tanner.
I went low,
Some
and
drivers a
I
little
guess
upset because they would check up.
you can't place your
nervous
foot on the
here
brake
right over,
pedal.
but
I mean,
gotta give
I
kudos
don't
to the
understand
field.
what the problem was.
Everyone is right on top of it. It's not didn't give it enough space, but
Pit road is closed.
going for the big dive bomb move. And I mean, it's one of those things where drivers are aggressive. They realize how
On the
important track
broadcast, you
position
never
is.
clear.
And Bethea's been attacking. Jared Talmadge has been getting a little bit more aggressive here of recent. And we got 2 aggressive drivers that both want
Not sure if
space.
that helps.
There's just not enough real estate for the neither one of them.
Car 50. Got
Yeah,
the lucky
sometimes
dog.
you
Let him by on the
gotta
outside.
give some to gain some sometimes, and you know, when you try to defend your spot all the time, you run into situations like that, and that's just 2 aggressive drivers like you were talking about, trying to race each other. Still early in the race, you didn't get any damage, nobody else involved, so it could have been a lot worse if we've seen in the first stage.
It absolutely could have. Well, we weren't able to talk to our top runners of drivers. Winner of the stage being Gavin Rogers, as he's not in Discord currently for us. But hey, let's see if we can try to queue up our current leader of this race, Cody Reed. He took the gamble of being up front, fighting
Hi,
with old tires. Let's see how well he's feeling on this upcoming restart. Cody Reed, 25 machine. It's Sam and
Hi,
Richard
Jared.
up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you're leading this race. You took the gamble of pitting before the stage was over. How are you feeling? How's this car feeling right now?
I feel pretty good.
Not
I feel like
clear,
it was
Tanner.
the right call for me, like running around like 25th to
24 hours.
30th.
I mean, I was clear, but I mean, if you want to play
I
like that,
definitely
I
am
mean,
going to
I'll
lose
be more
spots to
than
these
happy.
guys, just
I don't know,
based
man.
off speed. I honestly think
Getting
I'm really
reports
good on
that
the
you weren't
long run
clear,
and really
but-
good on old tires.
Yeah, you turn
So I
left
think-
again and then bust your ass
I
halfway
feel like
through the
I'm
turn trying
about
to save it and
even
go
past
around.
these guys
We're
up
going
here,
green next time,
but just
All right,
based
man.
off pure
I mean, what do you
pace, I
expect?
know
You
these
go
guys
through
are
now. I mean,
faster
what
than
do you-
me and they're going to
I
pass
mean,
me.
I don't know
But I
what you want me to
think
do there.
that move gives me a real shot at like a good like top 10, top 5 finish if everything goes smooth for the rest of this. So I felt like it was the right call to make. So I'm pretty happy with it right now.
Yeah, not a bad call being up there
Good.
in the front, especially
what?
after the little situation you had for the first caution where you spun around. You're able to keep the car off the wall there, but the tires, man, that had to, did you have to make a decision to come in and get tires? You just kind of wait for
I
the
don't know, mine's
stage.
pretty dry with this race right
I
now.
waited for the stage. I killed my tires sliding.
I know,
I
me
slid
too.
down like half the back straight. But even after
can
that,
change it
like
for you.
I got my damage repaired. It was only like 10 seconds. But I was passing cars left and right after that, like on old tires, on those.
Hey,
like,
you take that back. I live in the
the
desert.
ones I slid down the back straight with.
Sorry to hear that.
So I don't know, and
Sounds
I
like
was
you would know
a little
that.
bit faster than
Damn.
my fellow Ollie. Or not faster, but I had a little bit better tires than him after that run. So I feel pretty confident in the long run here.
Could just come up to Central New York where we haven't seen the sun in,
Ready.
I don't know, 4 weeks.
Yeah, same thing.
that will be Cody Reed working with all the Sega here tonight. That 24.
All right, man.
In the
8
field.
cars in.
See how well he can catch up currently in 12th place. Cody Reed, we just talked
Green,
about.
green, green.
He's going to be your control vehicle on the inside. We'll see how this F11R4 machine.
Got one inside.
Start going. Cody Reed, John
Stay
Ford,
high.
full tires. Can they stay up front? Let's find out as Cody
there.
gets the good launch. Really clear for now. But
All
Ford,
clear, all
does
clear.
he march to the inside? Looks like he'll follow in suit in line. It's the battle for third, though, going on.
Battle for third. They're still side by side. Does look like Gavin might be able to inch out a little, but Brian McCann still trying to challenge for Gavin able to clear to.
Oh, we got the wall.
Place,
Good
but
job.
now
The
those
next
sights
car
are
is
set
leader.
for John Forbes and Cody
Really
Reed.
disappeared.
Way back to the field, Joshua.
Completed to do 31.86.
now it's Gavin Rogers.
Big time screwed that turn up.
As Cody Reed has been passed, now John Forbes Jr. going to be the lead driver as Cody has a quick leak out for himself. Here's a couple of other drivers trying to launch their way forward. Jared Tallmadge involved with that contact with Tanner Bethea, currently running just outside of the top 10, runs 11. Now will can he stay ahead of the 24 Holly Fonseca as well as Zach Paul. Now the 32-24. They didn't have the biggest blown up rivalry between one another, but they had some issues late at the end of last season. We'll see how well they want to race around one another. Zach Paul trying to make
Got one outside.
Side of Ollie. Ollie fighting
Stay
strong
low.
on that outside groove, not wanting to just lay over just yet.
Still there.
Give it up quite that easily, but Zach Paul is able to
Still
get
there.
around Ollie Fonseca, take control of that position. Ollie's just going to fall back, get a little bit slower of a run.
Still
He's
there.
taking
Hold
the
your line.
He's a little slower than Zach Paul there. He's trying to save the tire more. But Ollie Fonseca to be getting looked at to be passed by
Still there.
Garcia as well.
Garcia trying to figure out where to go and get by this yellow Ollie machine. You might be wondering who's on the nose of that 24. Well, that's going to be Larry
Still
from
there.
Larry Arts Production. Always getting the best view as he's more reporting towards the 24, but seeing Nico Garcia, driver who's running and trying
Still
to
there.
make a move there, backs out of
Back
that
in
fight.
third.
Thought there was a chance to get underneath that 24 machine. Thinks better of
Forgot to use the brake.
You're
this
clear
is a
high.
tough
Clear
spot.
high.
Two different sides of this track. You're being 24 degrees ranking, you're 3 and 4. 20 degrees, you're in 1 and 2. Different ways you have to attack the corners. $16 run up that vaccine. Nico goes to the white line. But in front of 24, they're all marching into turns 3 and 4 where, you know, Richard, this corner, so tough to figure out at times because everyone just wants to get to that white line through here.
Yeah, you get that car down to that white line, it pretty much paints that car on the turn, and you can stick it through. But Nico Garcia tried sending it into turn 3 there, got up to the quarter panel of Ollie Fonseca, but was able to back off just enough. They didn't get into him enough to spin him out there.
Oh, I got on the gas late.
Great move by, great heads up.
He might get around on me. No, he messed up too. All right,
22,
we're good.
He's into the wall.
That's going to be Colby DiCarlo, who's going to be having issues with the 22 machine, and it just does not look good for the 22. He'll continue to stay on the outside, getting out of all the other drivers' way as others are getting close to one another. Big safe on
Next car is the leader.
74 of Nick Crawford as Douglas Newbegin getting close, and that's just the logjam that we continue to see through 3 and 4. When we see drivers side by side, 2 wide, 3 wide, it just doesn't look like we're going to make it through, as we're going to be stacked 3 wide, 2 rows deep. DiCarlo's going to stay high. He's got Ryan E. Johnson following him in suit. Daniel Medina, Ross Tatum. Medina's turning into the pinball as he's stuck in the middle. Where will the 20 go? He'll fall back out of that situation. And it's Mavazzi Major. Big run for the 82 machine. And DiCarlo is just in trouble for this 22.
DiCarlo having major issues keeping that car steady. He just keeps breaking loose, and he just got passed by a whole bunch of cars after that smack into the outside wall. Still loose. Those tires, he has got, and it's,
no.
Cars get into each other, trying to dodge him, and a huge hit
Medina.
against that wall.
That's the 20 of Dan Medina that takes the hard leg to the inside wall. Tanner Bethea was also involved in that one, but the 78 continues to race on the 20. Does he continue to stay out on track? He does. No required damage flags. You just have to stay out and trust you'll get a caution to fix all this damage that these drivers are accruing. But it is just door smack after door smack for some of these drivers. They continue to race on. These vehicles, I mean, these next-gen cars, they're looking like tanks at this current moment with the contacts that we're seeing, and no one getting required damage flags just yet.
Yeah, it's really impressive. We haven't seen a lot of damage on these and hit the wall as well. I would have definitely assumed we would have saw some major damage on the number 28 Dave Medina, but he's still out on track. He's going to hope for a caution so he can get some of that damage repaired. It's just a matter of how much damage he has and how much he can get repaired under caution. These drivers are definitely fighting these cars and how loose they are with these older tires now.
To the lead, it's going to be John Ford battling with Gavin Rogers as they'll be staying side by side. The one doing everything in his power to stay ahead of the fresher tires.
Look how hard it is to pass. Number one's on old tires.
Rogers stays low, powering up on the accelerator, and for the lead, Gavin Rogers keeping the nose ahead. Better momentum on the outside. Forbes still fights on. And I'm looking at the drivers behind our top two. You got Brian McCann, full center, still lingering up front. Ryan Noel,
clear low, clear low.
Larry Ginkling, Ryan Kelly, Vincent Zora. You got a lot of hungry drivers that want to win, that are just
clear low, clear low.
These two that are really using up all their rubber with this side-by-side battle.
Yeah, and they are using a lot of that resource in the tires. I mean, Gavin has got to get around John Forbes quicker than what he's doing, or just fall back in line behind him, because John Forbes, he's going to fall back quicker than him because he's got 9 laps older tires. But you finally be able to clear him. Gavin Rogers in the lead now, clearly, and able to pass John Forbes and make that pass fully done.
Let me pass it moving forward as Rogers gets it done. Now, for those drivers that did not pit, 3 of them didn't under our last caution, which was the stage break. John Force Jr. didn't pit. 25 Cody Reed, who runs at 12, didn't pit. And Josh
got one outside.
For 31 laps. We're expecting
Stay low.
fuel numbers here on the higher side of 50.
The lead just did on 31.188. Stay low. There's a car on the high side. Next car is the leader. Still there.
Yellow's coming out. Strategies. Would you try to stretch the fuel out and try to turn this race into a one-stop? I'm assuming those that didn't pit is the 2-stop race from here. I'm curious on where you want to go with, if you want to take that final
Still
stop
there?
of fuel for these drivers, because it's now strategy time on
Tough out here.
fuel, which was more important here as we're coming up to the start, lap 60.
I still think, based on what their times are running, I still think that fuel is going to be the strategy call. I don't think the tires are going to get to a point where they have to worry about having those tires wear out completely to where it's basically a flat tire. So as long as they can keep these cars steady, keep them in their own control,
Clear.
Run this fuel as long as they possibly can.
I'm going to take the outside. They can have the inside.
Got one inside.
Update on some drivers.
Stay high.
Back. Only 41 were able to take the green.
Stay high. There's the car on the low side.
Garcia, once it's in the top 20 of the moment.
Still there.
Himself, 5 laps down. He's got disconnected from the server. He'll get back to the server. He is currently the only driver.
Still there. Hold your line.
Laps down and a lap down. 40 drivers.
All clear.
Inside through 3 and 4.
That I was concerned.
That's where it's at.
Qualifying and with it being knockout qualifying.
I can't figure out 1, 2.
Some drivers not even attempting the time. Brad Delp, he is currently just trying to survive as he gets passed by the Christopher Norris, Christopher Wade. Both get through as the 71 will fall down in 29th position. I know Brad Delp, he's trying to after a very poor Dover race where
all right, man, caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file. Get road closed.
Kelly getting that. Looks like he might have.
For the 72, his goal here tonight, finish the race in a top 30 would be great, but up front, contact going to be made. It's Brian Noel, Ryan Kelly on the backstretch.
He said he was clear.
3, they finally get rolling, but caution flag
no damage
out on lap 62.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan Kelly and Brian Noel, the 2 cars involved, and it's just these 2.
Oh no, he was involved.
Had a strong run on the outside. Brian Noel, I guess, was not expecting it. Drove up the track, and Ryan Kelly just kind of got into his rear quarter panel there and turned him up into the wall.
Pit road is now
it's
open.
just an unfortunate situation for both of those drivers.
Ryan Kelly immediately after the incident coming out over the radio said, not clear. Let's find out what he felt like not clear looked like for the 3 machine. As he was being squeezed by both of the Lucky Duck Motorsports.
Taking tires, Larry.
Drew Jua behind him, Brian Noel ahead. And for the 3, he stays high, accelerates early, a little bit of a slip up by the 00. Kelly just trying to make the big move, and there's those moments where we talk about maybe a little bit more give and you'll get some take later. It looked like Kelly wanted to utilize that momentum while Noel was trying to hold it back. I think Noel was in the better right there, but that's a tough decision to make for the 3.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that much of a run, you do want to try and take advantage of that and not let that energy waste and get behind somebody. But that is, like you were saying, a prime example of give a little bit now and you can take a little bit later, because that hurts both of them as they lose a ton of track position. As we're now into pit road here of pit stops, and one driver did decide to stay out. That'll be Colin Carroll in the number 4.
All right, that's it. Go.
Gutsy call to make for the Ford machine. I'm curious about how that's going to work out for him.
Line up single file.
Colin Carroll's been out there for 26 laps on that stinted tires and fuel, so that is going to be a huge difference on speed. Or maybe is the 4 thinking about, hey, let's just get a lap of lead, get that bonus point, then come back into pit road and see how the rest of this stage moves on. That's what I'm assuming the 4 is going for. If he stays out, this is a very gutsy call by the 4.
Yeah, it's very, very gutsy call, unless he's, I mean, I don't even see it being like just trying to schedule your pit stop for the stage. I mean, if he's just trying to get that point and then get come back in and get some tires, that's a strategy.
Oh, he didn't have no damage.
But we'll have to see what he decides to do, because 26 lap old tires, that's a lot of time on those tires. He is
no seconds on repair.
Rock when they get back under speed.
Yeah, that is a
impressive
difference, especially on the fact of you look at John Forbes, Cody Reed, and Joshua Kanata. They only had about a 7-lap green flag run difference compared to the rest of their competition. This is going to be a much bigger difference that we're going to be seeing.
All right, man, we're going green next time by. All right, man, line up on the inside row.
Some track position might be the key. The Ford does not go into pit road. He stays out.
90-89.
Carroll, he's got to fend for his life to stay up front and hope and bank. Maybe a quick caution to keep his positioning as the drivers are stacking up side by side. We want to say thank you to all those that are watching with us here tonight. I know we got Lenny Reed out there, Cody Reed's dad, rooting for that 25 machine, who currently will roll just inside of the top 15. And we got plenty of other fans out there that are rooting for drivers. Who is your favorite? Who is the team maybe you're rooting for? There's a cluster of drivers that you're hoping have a good run. And maybe who's a driver you never thought about rooting for that you're starting to notice, hey, I hope they have a good run here tonight. We'd love to see. Currently looking at some of our biggest movers so far as we're closing in on halfway. Believe that our driver that is our current Whiplash Simca's biggest mover would be the one of John Forbes Jr. in 4th place. As we just brought up a poll, here are some drivers that we might be throwing out. Who do you think could be winning from this cluster? Who do you think is going to win? The one of John Forbes Jr., 32 Zach Paul, 75 of Gavin Rogers, 67 of Larry Yingling. If you don't think any of those drivers can win, leave in the comments. Who do you feel like is going to be the other
green.
Pace car pulling off into pit.
I was going off the somebody else jumped, I believe. I saw some movement.
Stay low.
Side by side as we are green once again for the coming Glencox. Beer talking 150. The 4 old tires. Can he survive turns 1 and 2? We'll find out as Gavin Rogers trying to take advantage on the outside.
Gavin Rogers.
Oh, he's stuck it in there.
Take advantage of the outside, get the run. The problem he had is John Ford just shoving Colin Carroll through turn 1 and 2, which pushed him up into the path of Gavin Rogers, and he was unable to get that run. John Ford will take control of this race with Gavin Rogers. Quick work of Colin, along with Vincent Sora. These guys are just passing him like he's standing still right now. He could be a slight bit of a road hazard later in this field when people try to get around this slower car.
Everyone else
still there.
Tires and fuel. The 4 was the lone driver that did it. We keep our eyes on the 4 because danger could be afoot to be around where this 4 is. It might be behind where the 4 is because you see the accordion effect of 4 drivers just running into one another. Or could it just be that everyone cycles their way through cleanly as Nico Garcia just stuck on the outside, nowhere to go. The 71 going to lose positions. The question is, when will he find an opening to drop down low? Now the driver going to be stuck on the outside. That will be the 25 Cody Reed. He doesn't have an opening. Garcia will force it 3 wide. As the 4
I don't know where you're trying to go.
I just didn't expect you to park it on the entry.
Great job. This 4 is just dropping like a rock. This is why we question Colin's decision to stay out on such a little tire, as he is all all the way back to now. It looks like he's almost out of the top 10. 18th position is where Colin's fallen back to. And just unfortunately to see, but Shane Terrian doing a great job back into the top 10 for the controller driver here in the BRS Cup Series.
He's pushing his way forward as quickly as he can. He'll stay attached.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out. Line up
Cody
single file.
flat back
Pit road
and
is
forth.
closed.
We got a new fan rooting out there in the chat for Cody Reed. It's not just Cody's dad. We got Mason Cassidy out there. His yellow flag is out. And it's the 3 of Ryan Kelly once again going around.
Ryan Kelly having a rough race tonight, man. Involved in another accident. Looked like he's going to have some damage here as well. We'll have to see what happened. Definitely not something you normally see with Ryan Kelly. Kind of looks like he got a little bit of a tap from Brad Delph in the 72.
It's going to be going into turns 3 and 4 where this incident's going to be happening right on the entry of turn 3. Currently coming off the exit of turn 2. They'll be side by side. They got Kyle Rochelle right in front of them in the 41. And Pete Hart giving a huge moment. It looked like for Kelly, he thought he was clear to go down, but the closing rate for the 41 slowed the 3. Delph was there. Mark Morales with a small tap to the 3. It just looked like drivers checking up, and there just wasn't enough time for the 72 to do so as well.
Yeah, and he also got tagged by the 91, so that's some huge damage that's going to happen to both of them. He might be in the lane for a while getting that damage repaired. Unfortunate to see for Ryan Kelly, but we ride along here with the 91 Mark Morales.
Lucky dog, let him by on the outside.
Ryan Kelly just sliding, long slide there. Martin just not able to pick a lane, just kind of did not make a choice. It just drove straight into
when the yellow flag came out.
Sometimes it's hard to make that choice of, slinging it to the outside. When you're in the middle,
He only got 45 seconds off of that.
You're too aggressive on trying to make a turn to the outside. You can accidentally throw yourself into the outside wall. If you get on the brakes too hard, it can just keep you going straight or right up to the outside wall. So Martin hard to make which decision was the right one immediately and just went with the head-on collision. As we're coming up to halfway, I think we're going to take another commercial break here tonight. As drivers enter pit road, majority of them are those that are getting some damage repaired. But for us here this evening, I want to say thank you to those that are watching with us. You're watching currently the WSSR BRS Cup Series Season 11 Race 4. Your Cody Glenn Cox here talking 150 back here at Texas. And a fun one of cautions. We'll find out more after this.
Never mind, that's not.
It's not raining right now. It was raining earlier when I went to go smoke before I came in for the race.
Yeah, it was raining like 30 minutes before the race.
Alright, man, we're going green next time by. Alright, man, line up on the inside row.
Do you drive or fly back?
I drove back Sunday night.
Right north, supposed to be 80 degrees for us next week.
I got back at 6:30.
I got back at like 8
I
o'clock.
got Gavin in front of me, John in front of that. Who's behind me? Jarrett. I don't know much about Jarrett. His driving style.
Get ready. Safe cars in. Green, green, green.
I got a late one on that one.
Deleted to shoot on 35.388. Got one outside. The car is P11, just at the positive left. 30.215. Stay low. All clear, all clear.
Oh.
Got one outside.
That did it.
Still there. Stay low. All clear, all clear. Caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file. Pit road is closed.
Thanks for holding the brake.
I'm sliding in the grass. No way.
I know, man, I know, but it's just so frustrating anymore. 50 accidents a day.
Sorry, Pete. Didn't mean to slam in you. I didn't know we were wrecking until I was on your ass.
That's alright.
And we've got ourselves some trouble as we were under a commercial
Canada,
break.
you're all the way up in front of me.
Camera
It's just not telling
issues,
you.
trying to figure that out. But as we were coming back, trouble strikes. Here's Douglas Newbegin at a few. Off the exit turn for 4 and trouble strikes all around. Richard, I mean, we're seeing everyone on top of one another. Just one simple mistake and everything goes awry, it seems.
Yeah, and that's all it takes. Shane Terrian got a little loose there, and just Douglas Newbegin did not let up, and it just caused a huge stack of drivers driving into the back of Douglas and just causing others to kind of scatter, trying to get out of the caution or the wreck. And that's what brings out our caution.
Park out of that section,
sliding out of the infield as well.
I believe that was Justin Malarkey with coming in hot.
Hey guys, sorry on that restart.
Drivers were going all around, and that was Justin Malarkey making contact with Tanner Bethea, who was going to be taken. This is not the caution as if you're a London Motorsports fan. You want to see 2 of them going to be with required damage flag. That's Douglas Newbegin
Cody
and
Reed
Tanner
just
Bethea.
asked Leonard to
What
toss
happened
him
to
a diet.
Tanner? He was already involved with the wreck. And Malarkey goes through the grass. Bethea lets it roll.
Pit road is closed.
And contact right there. That's the situation where you're a driver in the grass. I don't think you're expecting someone to be driving through the grass to avoid that aggressively, but here's what happened to Tanner from his point of view.
On the outside.
Trying to get through that carnage as best as he could.
Yeah, very interesting move by Malarkey there, just taking straight to the grass to try to just dodge all the wrecks, but huge speed, massive hit to that inside wall in the pit lane. Oh, that has gotta hurt for the 78 machine. That was a massive hit, and then just kind of rolls back out to where I guess the traffic's kind of merging, collecting Justin Malarkey.
Yeah, Malarkey not given a required damage flag, but 78 does.
Nah, we've been about 50-50 on yellow green.
Lucky Duck Motorsports drivers get together and just, with the way that the tri-oval is, drivers are just, you hit a bump, you lose control.
We get a good 2-3 laps in, yellow comes out.
But lets it roll, another hard contact with the 73, and that could be a night done for the 7 and the 78 here tonight. That both look like strong contenders to at least get a top 15, maybe even a top 10 finish here this evening. Not gonna be the case, as both Bethea and Newbegin.
The leaders had some big time wiggle and bumping and wall hitting. Got a little scary at one point.
A couple of drivers taking the opportunity coming to pit road to get service
All right,
under that
we're
last
halfway
caution.
to the finish.
Colin
All right, man, we're going green next time by.
Moved up to
All right,
20th
man,
place.
line up on the outside row now.
Current yellow, just taking fuel. Going to be Ken Campbell, Christopher Wade, Brad Delph, as well as Nick Crawford, Joshua Kanata, Ryan Kelly, Mark Morales, Brian Noel. And getting damaged Perry and tires looks to be Thomas Green. Cedric Hunter coming back into pit road for the 13. Chris Ditz, going to be Monazzi Major, Shane Terrian, Cole Sacchetti.
I will give anyone $100 if they clean the absolute shit out of Ollie on the restart.
Bethea and Douglas Newbegin all still in
I will give them $200 not to.
Update for Samuel Garcia. Last we talked about
I feel like most people
it
here
was
would
back
do that
at
for
lap
free.
45, and he was 5 laps down. He is currently gotten a couple of those laps back. He's now only 3 laps
I think
down
Ollie would do it for free
for
too.
the 50 machine. Only trouble, some of the drivers ahead of him, they're back out on track, so you might be losing touch to getting those laps back. Vince is going to be that lead driver. Richard, first half of this race done and dusted so far. What are your thoughts initially looking at these first 77 laps?
You know, I'm going to say I'm a little shocked that we've had so many wrecks here at Texas. I would have expected, you know, something like this at Dover.
See if I can get a little better start on this one. I lost the position last restart.
A lot of aggression from a lot of drivers, and just nobody getting
Now I can see the leader, so.
I mean, there's a lot of great racing throughout the field,
All right, man.
but I mean,
I'm
a little shocked by the amount of caution we've had.
Green flag, green flag.
This is a track that's been overpassed
Larry did what I did last race.
With just 3.
It's tough being in that position.
All right, man.
Third car back, bottom
The
row.
lead is seated on
As we are back to green
32.405.
flag action to start a lap 78 of 150 here this evening. As John Forbes, Vincent Soar are going to be the top 2 with a big launch heading into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, great launch from John Forbes there to take the lead. Vincent Soar right behind him, going to try to close that gap. He's going to look low. John Forbes with a small little block it looked like, but not enough. Vincent Soar going to get side by side with John Forbes in turn 3 and 4. Vincent Soar is going to look to lead this race finally. Gets the nose in front of John Forbes, and he will lead this lap off the restart.
He wiggled.
It's the 51, Vincent Sora, the 2-time champ.
I'm not going to try to pass him. I know he's faster.
Wanting to be a 3-time champ, catch up to Larry Ainlake.
I'll be wearing my tires out if I try to race him.
Look, really showing his first hand up inside of the top 4 this evening. As he's watching.
Really just want to maintain and save tire.
Looking forward.
My bad.
Forbes, Sora, how can you get out of this corner cleanly? And Vincent Sora was in the better running position. But they continue to stay side by side across the line there. They work side by 1/1000th of a second, but Drew Jewell says, all right, you've been playing your games. It's my turn to fight for the lead.
Stay low. All clear, all clear.
There's a wiggle.
Wide. There's still 3 wide. A small bump almost to John Forbes from his own teammate. But 77 Drew decides to back out of that seat.
Yeah, one outside.
He got out of the apron a little bit. You saw the wiggle.
Stay low.
That's what we've been seeing all night. People getting down on that apron, getting that wiggle and going over the traffic. Luckily, Drew had nobody was outside. Gavin going to look.
Cody ain't going to last long doing what he's doing.
Still there.
Top 6 are under a blanket right now as we are still side by side for the lead between teammates.
And up to 6th place and battling for 5th. It's the 25 of Cody Reed. He was challenging earlier in the race, back in 26th position at the stage. He followed the same strategy as John Forbes. Hit it early before the stage was over, took the track position, and he has succeeded with it as they're going to be going 3 wide for the lead position once again. Down into turn number 1. Drew Jewell gets by 1. He gets by 2. The
might get a little tight out of 3 here.
Can he stay there up into the turn
4.
Here comes the 51
3 wide.
inside. We stay 3 wide. Down into turn number 3. Soren's giving his foot down. Now continue to fight. Cody Reed,
Yeah, one
4 wide
inside.
for a second. What thinks better of it?
Still there.
This racing for the lead right now is intense. You think they're
Stay
racing
high.
for the win
On the low
in the next
side.
couple of laps, but we still got half a race to go, basically.
high.
7
On
laps to
the
go.
low
You
side.
guys are racing like it's my lap. Cody Reed, a huge surge to the middle. He's going to try to get the pass.
Still there.
Almost gets into form. Now Vincent Soar will be at the big control of
Clear
this
low,
race.
clear low.
Folks, got momentum.
I'm just going to get out of that.
But they are side by side for 3rd between Drew Jewell and Cody Reed. Cody Reed up here challenging.
Hopefully we get all spread out and do a green run.
The lead is seated on 30.396.
Our top 7 were within 3/10 of one another. They were, if you could put a blanket over our top 7, they was
The bottom side out of 2 right now is better anyway.
to race on, and the driver rewarded with
Bottom through 3 and 4 is better.
It's Cody Reed up to 3rd place with the wiggle up into the corner. Good backfire. Here comes Gavin Rogers. Big shove to the inside, help the 77 move forward. But it's the teammates. I mean, with all that battling, I don't understand. How is Sora and Forbes still the top 2?
I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing a great job. They're controlling the pace of this race, it seems. Being as long as they were 2 wide, even when they got challenged for the lead, they came back on the inside and the outside of Drew Jewell to take back the lead 2 positions. These 2 are doing a great job working as a unit to control 1-2 here in Texas. But
Really just focusing on potential wreck here.
has got a good run, going to get side by side with Forbes, but Forbes might have a better run off the turn. They're even as they come across the line. Gavin Rogers giving a great bump to Cody Reed. Is going to surge him forward.
I don't want Ollie to pass me.
Looking to lead this race. He is challenging Vincent Soar attitude.
Cody Reed trying to keep himself to the outside.
I'm going to protect bottom side.
There, Sora will move back up, and it is ISRC Truck Series drivers 1, 2, 3. The grouping of drivers that you can say 2-3 seasons ago fill the pack, known for bringing out cautions and trouble. The growth that we've seen from these 3 drivers, it is incredible to see. Sora, 2-time champion. Forbes, champion of last season. Is Cody Reed putting his head in?
One
So a
outside.
driver to watch out for as Gavin Rogers
Still there.
follows the 25 high. Where will you go? Here comes a couple of more ISRC truck drivers as they move in. It's Ollie Fonseca.
77 cars wiggling big time.
They're in the mix with Brian McCann.
They're bringing this top three together and bringing some great racing along with it. But Cody Reed has been an amazing story from last season. When he won the opening race at Atlanta in season 10, he didn't plan on racing the full season, but since he locked himself into the playoffs, he thought he'd go ahead and try.
77 is going to end up losing it.
But here he is, here in Texas for round 4, is throwing his hat in the bunch up there saying, I'm here to race this season. Let's go for another championship run.
Right on board points that with Eric Talmadge. He's got behind him, going to be the 8th Brian McCann. Ollie Fonseca is right, and then they all try to figure out where to move forward. It has been a blast to call the top 8 where they're at. Here's the thing, the top 8's giving us a show. This has been a pleasure to watch as Cody Reed will be 3 wide once again ahead of him, losing footing. The tires are just falling away for the 25. This has kind of been his issue, is he can really stick it early on and run. It's the later run where it feels like it falls away. When we talked to Cody, it felt like
today or what, bub?
that's when you're just settling. But no, when
we're gonna have to get tires now, ain't we?
It's gonna be seeing Kyle Rochelle as well as
It is
Thomas
amazing
Green.
back here.
Hard
Seriously, a
contact for
couple
the
of you
41
guys.
and 31.
Man, some great racing here for
We
the
were
top
saving
7.
real good
Top
there.
8 actually, and just in the
I was feeling good if it went
hard
green.
racing back there, but a caution brings it out. They're going to group
That
everything
Ollie and
back
Cody,
up.
they
And
weren't
I
going to
can let
last
you
much
know,
longer.
The entire field's going to come
Drew,
down,
he
get
wasn't lasting
tires,
either.
And this could
That would have been 1, 2,
pit
3,
stop
4,
of
5.
the
I would have been
race.
in
They can
5th.
go the rest of the way on fuel. We'll see who decides to elect to come down pit road and get tires and fuel.
And this has been the chaos spot all
Sorry,
night
Brian.
long.
He was
It's
just
3
rolling
and
down.
4, where drivers are making bold moves, feeling like
No, I
this
just
is
had
the
someone
corner
say
to
that
make
you're all
passes.
good.
You're going to see it here as Rochelle's on the inside of Tart. It's going to be the 4. Late diving move. Going to be from Carroll. Keeps his foot in the throttle, and we've seen drivers up front. They're backing out of that situation. But further on back, they don't want to lose any spots, and Rochelle gets tossed around right in front of the 31.
Right here.
Is that another caution here this evening?
I was almost too far right there.
And others, wow, what a aggressive takeoff and go for the 41 as DeCarlo
Should be able to make it to the end on this one.
Also the 00. What a bizarre moment there. I don't know what caused Rochelle to feel like he could go in that moment, but decided he didn't want to wait for the rest of the field to get by.
Yeah, I don't know what
Right around 70, so
I mean, he's facing
good.
The wrong way, but the right way to see other cars coming. So, I mean, there was no need to hit the gas there. Just wait for everybody to go by.
Ross, I feel like that was a battle of who's going to speed without getting
and
caught
that's just
better.
not what you want to see. I mean,
94,
Carlos
94.
getting involved
Yeah, I'm pretty
again,
sure I said that.
just not having a good night for himself.
How they do 1% better than me?
You can get caught, we're
Does, but
good.
no required damage with all that incidences, but certainly a plenty of damage.
Well, Larry was back there
for Thomas
super
Green.
But I
saving, so
hit
that makes
52
sense.
again.
Rochelle gets a little bit of it repaired, and he'll take off and go. It's going to be
I hit
Colby
52
DeCarlo going to be
catching
in
up
pit
to
road
you,
getting
so.
extensive damage repaired, as well as Shane Tarian and Thomas Green getting those repairs
We're
done.
good.
Still the only 2
Cody and Ollie, they wasn't going to last long. Drew, he was wiggling all over the place. So that was 3 cars that weren't going to last long there.
And Samuel Garcia, I believe he'll get another position back or another lucky dog spot. This 50.
I was hoping we was going to go green.
Rather get disconnected early so you have the time.
All right, man,
to
we're going
recover.
green next time,
And
bye.
Garcia
All
might
right,
get
man.
back on the lead
Line up
lap
on the
and continue
outside
to
road
have
now.
these cautions rattling off, but like you said, this could be the last pit stop of the night for these drivers. Everyone taking tires in.
Sucks because these guys doing what they're doing there. Those 3 cars I'm talking about, they got track position. Now they got new tires, so we're all leaving again. So
trying to have a little bit more
it's a gamble. Do you like drive the way they do and burn your stuff up to get track position and gamble for a caution?
to the end, as well as tires.
Or do you gamble for a green?
Fuel, I don't think, is going to be an issue. They're going to be able to fill up these tanks and be able to even make, the overtime green-white checkered attempts if it comes down to it. So
I'm almost thinking
right
track
now, it's
position.
who can maintain their tires? It's no longer a green flag pit stop situation. They don't have to come back in for fuel. Who's going to take care of their tires for this longer run?
Broadcast is talking me into saving tires, so
filled race. It's hard to get into a long run, I guess, groove. So it's been a lot of short stint runs, and these guys, I mean, they're doing a great job keeping these cars side by side for very long periods of time and providing fantastic racing for us to be watching and calling at the same time.
Now, we made this poll in our chat about 22 minutes ago. That was right before we just saw the chaos of the up front top 8 going back and forth. We threw out a couple of names and numbers that might be there. I feel like there's other ones you can choose.
All right, man.
Put them in the chat.
Pace cars in.
Might win here tonight. We put John Forbes, Zach Hall, Gavin Rogers,
Green
Larry
flag,
Yingling
green flag.
in the post. Currently winning.
The lead is did on 34.85.
To win a tie, 11% of Zach Hall and Larry Yingling at 22%. To that 75, Gavin Rogers. A couple of other fans of other drivers out there on course. We'll see how well they can tackle and move forward as we are green once again for Dakota Glenn Cox. Here talking 150. And it is see the fight of Vincent Sorjon Forbes, Captain Roger Trujillo, your top 4 currently, but middle of the field, it is still a madhouse somewhere you want to be to move forward.
Yeah, that's the place you don't want to be. Is
got one outside.
Field, and that's what a lot of these drivers know and
still
see.
There.
So they're trying to make these aggressive moves.
Oh, I went in way too hard.
Fast,
stay low.
Fast. As you saw Nicholas Renner there, got the wall a little bit. He's challenging for some position
still
back
there.
Ross Tatum still further back in the field as well as he's trying to find some space and some room as well to get back.
Stay low. There's a car on the high side.
Yeah, a lot of these guys built the path. We haven't had time to talk about how chaotic.
All clear, all clear.
But Ross Tatum, one of the drivers that needs a good run here this evening, and he wants to fight to make the playoffs. Also seen it with Ryan Johnson. He's sad. Here's Larry Yingling back at 18. Nick Crawford, who had their woes. Poor Colin Carroll, he's just been on a fight to get back moving forward. It's just been a chaotic mess. Trying to move forward and around that top 10 spot. We have the camera on Nicholas Renner in 9th position. We've also got Pete Hart there. Hart was one of the fastest drivers during practice. He didn't qualify where he wanted to, but I'm curious for this 40 as the run progresses. How more knowledge are you taking in? Is the track developing into more of his racing style? As when we started this race, the track temp was around 180 degrees Fahrenheit. That's dropped a couple of degrees. Now down to 115. That's helping some, a lot. And the wind is still ridiculously high inside of the 15 marker of speed. It's just fun to watch. Some of the drivers who look quick in practice now starting to get up from.
Yeah, it's good to see Nicholas Renner up here in the top 10 as well. He's a driver that we know has got speed. He's shown it before. The biggest issue he has always had is just being involved in other wrecks, and then he just calls it a night. It's usually very early in a race. He doesn't. He's not here really for points. He's just kind of here racing for fun. He's not doing a full-time schedule with here, so he's just kind of picking and choosing the races he might like. And he's doing a really good job tonight up here in the 9th position, trying to move forward, get up with his teammate of Gavin Rogers, who is now the leader of this race.
Gavin Rogers is moving pass on the outside for one of his
The lead is did on 30.382.
Trying to stay in that top position. More people rooting for their favorite drivers. Larry himself is in the chat. He's rooting for Cody Reed. Currently runs in 5th.
Still there. All clear, all clear.
It's a much bigger checkup than I thought it was going to be.
If you don't account for the 2 favorites of Vincent Sora and
John, you're blanking out. I don't really know where you are.
2nd and 3rd currently. Looking at some of our biggest movers so far here tonight. The biggest mover, it is the one machine of John Forbes in 3rd place. He's your current left game. Biggest mover of the race, up 35 spots from where he started. Other big movers, Nicholas Renner, up
outside
position, but the biggest mover.
Stay low, there's a car on the high side.
So far, the race is over.
Stay low.
Whoa, that car hit the wall and hit me.
Clear high, clear high.
His way back up to the front with the strategy calls, the speed we know he has.
Had a clinch for that
All right,
one.
caution is out.
Once again, he might start
Line
the
up,
back.
single file.
He's going to be inside up front as they continue to race back and forth. It's Nicholas Renner going around in the grass. Trouble as he goes back up into the field, and it's
He went wide open through 3 and 4. Found out you can't do that.
Continues to roll on.
Oof.
Oh man, an unfortunate. Just got done talking about him, giving him compliments and sticking out.
Hey, Nico, you look at my right front, man.
And just a minor mistake.
Hey, Drew, it was lap 100.
Not major damage for anybody.
Y'all might
want to
go. I'm driving like a
that
motherfucker.
car back to pit lane. Oh,
Yeah, you
hate
have
to
damage
see
on
it
there,
for someone
Ollie.
who's
Sorry,
having
bud.
such a great run as we should find the replay to see what
All good,
happened.
man.
The big thing here for the 76, when we were talking about it,
You
was
hit
getting
that
never
wall a
lifted.
ton come out of
off
floor. I
of
knew he
forward,
was
and it
going
looks
back
like
down.
this
There's still
time
nowhere.
bounces off. There's a driver, do his inside, gets into Ryan McCann at this point just
Really
trying
hoping
to
he
catch
just
it.
freaking keep
With
it up there,
oncoming
but
traffic,
I guess
it's hard
not.
to catch
The road is now
Medina, just
open.
nowhere to go for the 20.
I don't know what you want
I
me
was
to do to
worried
keep
that
it
we were
up
going to
here.
see some
We just need some kind of gentleman's agreement. Stay single. Shoo.
It's rolling, no
Single
one else
file.
involved, and again, like you said, we just wait and see how bad was that contact with the 20. That is not going to ruin the 20's night. As we hop aboard with all the sights and sounds of Medina as he just clobbers right into the wheel. That is the worst place to make contact if you're the 75.
Yeah, that's the 76 of Nick Renner. Huge hit to that right front wheel, and it's just he didn't do anything wrong there. He was on the brakes. You saw the tires locked up, and just Medina just right up into his path. Nothing he could have done there. It's just a hard decision to make in the moment. You're going so fast on this front stretch, and that car's just not wanting to stop in front of you. So, unfortunate to see. Renner, he was getting into that outside wall at it for quite a bit, and it just that time the car just went really tight, hard contact to that outside wall forward, and then just coming across the nose of Ollie Fonseca and spinning through the infield.
Tough contact, but we'll continue to race on. A couple of more changes on the poll. We've had 13 people voting, and currently 54 of those votes have gone to John Forbes Jr. as your pick of a driver who could potentially win here tonight. Gavin Rogers at 31. Zach Hall, Larry Yingling, you're just throwing in different names. Again, this was over 30 minutes ago when we made these choices of drivers, and these were some of them that were inside of the top 10. 8% for both Zach and Larry.
I am enjoying starting on this outside, though.
Reed, people was hoping to be a part of that vote. Drew Jua, who's always
Watching the inside and how it gets stacked up. If I do get back on the inside,
no 77
I'm gonna lay back.
I mean, Drew, we know you're quick. You're up in fourth. We're hoping that
Tad, so that doesn't happen.
This pace. I know we're usually seeing some Lucky Duck fans out there. We seem to be missing a few of them. We do have reports though of one
because they accordion hard down there.
Loss. That will be the 91 of Mark Morales, who looks to be out of this race. So that's another position moving up for Samuel Garcia.
Hi, Josh.
Richard, once again, another caution, another position.
You, Josh.
50 machine, now only one lap down.
Yeah, that's great to see, and I know he's excited. He's just hoping for one more caution. I know a lot of these drivers don't want any more cautions. They'd rather be racing with the green flag, but Samuel S. Garcia, when you have an issue with the internet, I mean, I used to race here in WSSR, and for about a season and a half, I was having major hardware issues and just disappearing off the track in the middle of a race. So I definitely understand the pain of that happening. And, I mean, it's glad to see he's back, and he's sticking it out, getting these laps back. One more caution, and he can easily be back on the lead lap and challenging for positions, potentially even have the speed of the top 20 yet.
Yeah, you're always looking for how you can move your way forward. Talking about drivers that have been involved with wrecks, trying to find spacing to recover. 31, Thomas Green, we've seen him be involved in many different issues. We've seen him be involved with some of our most recent wrecks. He is up to 19th position, even with all that damage that he's accrued. I also want to say congrats to Manazzi Major, who continues to just make his way forward. We saw this last week. Up in a couple of wrecks, avoided some wrecks, came away with a solid finish for the 82. And it looks like here tonight, trying to do the same and just stay out of trouble and gain a good finish at the end of the day. Other drivers that are marching for maybe different goals.
Get ready.
Ben Keeney and also going to be Joshua Corner. They're both looking to go for a top 30 finish here tonight. We'll see if they can gain any more spots. If we have any troubles or if they find some speed, as we're about to go green. Thanks so much to everyone that's joining with us. Every like, every comment, it helps promote the series, helps promote the broadcast, and more eyes on the series, more better sponsors.
The lead is on 32.789.
Cody Glenn Cox, Beer Talking 150 is back underway. Remember, go check out Cody Glenn Cox on all music stations and music platforms. Look up his newest song, Beer Talkin' today. It'll be the song of the summer if you're into country music. As our top 4 in line, top 5 in line, as their giddy up and go mode seems to be calm for at least this first lap as they go into turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, calm is definitely the word to use. The calm before the storm, though. These guys lined up pretty quick. Still 2x2 further back. Nico Garcia, one of the first group of 2x2 cars. He's finally moved himself up. He's sitting in 7th position. That's a great run for him. He said he was looking for a strong run tonight after a terrible start to the season, and he is definitely doing it.
All clear.
Cody Green now for position.
Got one outside. All clear, all clear. Inside.
Well qualified.
Still there.
caution, just taking every position possible for himself.
Still there.
In practice, Victor was the fastest driver during that time. And it
Still
translates
there.
over to qualifying and being sucks. And much quicker when you're in the trap working with other drivers on this 40 machine.
Stay high.
I mean, this is a great run for himself. To make his push, maybe go for it, but even still early in the season, a
Still there.
fantastic finish could change everything. Colin Carroll up to 16th now. This Ford, no fight, nor does the 31.
Three wide,
They might have
you're in
been
the
caught in multiple wrecks here this evening.
Hold your line. Inside,
to make it
too
inside
wide
the
there.
15 out of 10 is
Stay
calling
high.
for both of them. If they can continue to stay out of trouble, though.
All clear, all
Yeah,
clear.
staying out of trouble is the key. We've seen a lot of drivers. I mean, they can easily make it up through the field. It's just not getting involved in the issues in front of them. Or, I mean, Colin Carroll, who stayed out on those tires, felt like a rock.
I wanted to get that fourth position to be on the outside on the restart.
Back in for you.
Kind of is the one that even move up with these fresher tires. So great to see him doing that. Right along with Christopher Norris.
Now I need to get back to tire saving.
Good job today. Had some small issues for himself, but he's looking for a strong run after having one race and being suspended a few weeks ago as well.
Yeah, suspended after his potential contact with Brad Dell after that first initial race at Atlanta. Then missed down on the second race in Rockingham. Had a pretty poor showing last week at Dover. Didn't get the practice in that he wanted, but here tonight, got to say for Christopher Norris, up to 13th. And when it's a quiet night for the 38, it means he's having a good night. Because there have been nights where he is the center of attention, you could say, of bringing out yellows. Driver who's been center of attention in both the series we call here on Freaking Fast Broadcasting. Here's John Forbes Jr., 5th place, falling out of that lead position, but he lingers behind the 8 of Brian McCann. And looks like he is not in fight mode, but survival. Let's just survive this run. Maybe go into attack mode a leader on it.
All right,
It
man,
looks like
caution
you
is
can
out.
make passes
Like that.
if
Line
you're
up
willing
single
to make
file.
the dive
Your road is
moves.
closed.
I was ahead of you. How?
Now do you get tires or not?
Drive away because
40-ish to go.
to the back, and it's Brad Dell for the 72.
Cautions
What do we got?
keep rolling in.
10 laps on these?
Struggling to get into.
I will do what
rhythm.
Gavin does.
Yeah, Nico, I don't think that was really entirely your fault. I also was getting tight
Stretched
there.
out in single file, but it's again back
Yeah, I
in
mean,
They're probably going to stay out since we've had so many cautions.
These guys are trying to get
Track position is key.
open, but Brad Delph, the reason for this caution, leading
Yeah, I think
kind
it
of
was
a
more just a
small
racing
pack
deal.
of cars there, not quite.
Pit here, you'll go back to 20th.
Going into turn 3 here, they're not really side by side.
Not that big of a
Gets
difference
down
on
that
tires.
different load, slows down a little, almost up to the wall. Just gets loose out of 4 and comes across the nose.
Luckily, off the corner, able to sneak his way through with no one else going to be
Pit
involved
road
in that
now
wreck.
open.
Can he
Need a
get
good
through
20, 30
the
laps on
grass of my
green
friend?
to make a difference, I think.
Away they go. No other driver is going to be involved with that one. That's another quick caution. It's going to be thrown.
They're probably
out.
96,
40 laps to
97%
go.
right
We
now.
have 1
Here
inch
this
of rain on
evening.
Thursday.
We've been out there clean and we've been out there for these drivers up front. Top going to be 25 drivers are on 20 lap old tires. A lot of them have already used 2-3 sets of tires. You've got, for some, maybe 1 set left in pit road. Some may have 2. Is this the go time, or do you wait for
What'd you say about
potential
1
another
inch?
late caution? Games are being played. A lot of the front runners
Pit road is
not going to
closed.
be heading to pit road just yet.
I mean, I could have guessed
as they
that.
continue to stay out.
It's like nobody's
Rude.
coming down the pit road
fine.
except maybe a few cars in the back there. It's the best chance they have to move up through the field. But with this caution, the biggest benefactor, Samuel S.
Car,
Garcia,
I love how
will get
absolutely
his
obliterated the grass
and
is
he should be able to
at
get
the
back
corner
on
of
the
it
lead
in the
lap,
quad
if I'm
oval.
not mistaken here, as he's passing people now.
Yeah, what do we do? Do we get loose?
Garcia back on the lead lap. He might want to
Let the
stop,
50
get
car
some
by.
tires,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
make
when the
a
yellow
strong
flag
came out.
charge through this field to end this race strong after his mishap of getting disconnected earlier in this race.
I mean, being 5 laps down, 40 laps into
Hey,
this
Nico, can
race,
you
I
let me
mean,
know if there's any right section
you
of
feel
stuff
like
we
your
have on the
race
wall?
is over, and you're just going in there mentality-wise.
No, I don't say anything.
Well,
We
I'll
should
just
be
take whatever
fine.
I can take. There have not been a lot of drivers being knocked fully
All
out
right,
of this
cool.
race.
I felt like I pancaked
But when
it,
drivers
but
were
it still
knocked
drove
out,
fine.
they stay
Thank
in
you,
pit
though.
road long enough for him, for Garcia to pass them
Pancake.
under these cautions, and for the 50 machine back
Great,
on
now I'm
the lead
hungry.
lap for the first time since
I'm a
lap
waffle
30
man.
when he got disconnected from the race. Welcome
Can't get a good
to a
waffle.
chance to gain even more positions. Richard, that is an incredible story by the 50 machine. We just
You
hope
got
that
anybody
he stays out
for
of trouble
Prip?
for these final 40-ish laps.
Fuck
We're
you.
kind of getting to the point where I was pushing
Vinny,
the
can you
right
say
front
that
in
word for
turn
me?
one a
Involved in
little
another
too much.
situation that puts him a lap down again.
John was
I'm
definitely going to beat me on the long run
Gonna
there.
hope he has a very clean rest
That
of
would
this
be
race.
unhype.
But
Alright,
it's
man,
going
we're
to be a
going green
story to
next
watch to
time
see how
Nick,
far
do you have a
he
French
can
line up
come
on the
through
outside row
field.
now.
Being, you know, like we
But
said,
is anybody's game if we get cautions every 5
It's
laps?
going to be great to see how many positions
Avez-vous des problèmes avec
in
la montre
these
en
last
français?
48 laps, 47
Yep,
laps.
yep.
I want to give shout outs to the sponsors once
Fair enough,
again
Bush.
here this evening. Again, our race
They
sponsor,
don't
Cody
clap?
Glenn Cox. Go check out Cody Glenn Cox out
c'est
on all music
tabarnak.
stations as he is trying to go on more and more tours out there. His
Yeah,
newest
see.
song, Beer Talkin', just came out this week. Awesome to
Isn't
have
iRacing English only per rule book?
And
I guess we are in a
cool
league.
story though about Cody Glenn Cox. He actually raced
Not that I care.
WSSR back in the early days.
It used to be,
First 3 seasons.
right? English only?
Cody
Did
was
they
able to
change
go out
that?
there and race, so wanting to support a league that he was a part of so long ago,
Ah!
COVID
Could've jumped back the
pandemic
phone.
days. So thankful to have drivers returning
I
back
love that
even when
vine.
they're pursuing their dreams. So again, go check out Cody Glenn Cox's newest song, Beer Talkin', today.
My
Also
favorite
thank you
TikTok
to
is the guy that
Virtual
makes
Racing
tornado
School,
sirens.
otherwise known as VRS, the title sponsor of WSSR Cup Series.
Get ready.
Go check out virtualracingschool.com and all the ways that they can help you provide the lines that give you telemetry data to help
All right, man.
elevate your racing
cars in.
performance on the sim track and beyond. Also check out our
Green,
Sim
green,
Players
green.
Trophy Smack. Also want to say thank you to Sim Precision Prints and the provider.
You got one inside. Alright, you're back in third. Say
And the
hi.
restart zone is the 75 with Gavin Rogers going to take us to the green
Still there.
as the one.
Clear low,
Tried to
clear
send
low.
it, didn't work.
Hole moved up high, and it is all the 75 pulling away.
Rogers another
Inside.
great restart.
Still there.
Shoots out
Damn, he sent it.
and then gets a very comfortable
Still there.
lead.
Hold your line.
And right now, he's
Say
just
hi.
I hit the bump.
He's still got to worry about tire wear though, because those other guys will be saving a little
Say
bit.
hi.
Vincent Sora getting close to Brian McCann, upsetting that car and gets him out of the way.
Still there.
Team
Hold your line.
there past the number 8 machine of Brian McCann, and Nico Garcia is also looking. McCann, a lot of ground lost in such a small bobble turn.
Still there.
There will Lugo can you recover his positions as Brian McCann and Garcia going to be side by side. Cody Reed
All clear, all clear.
good run. You've seen him fight for the lead. You've seen him fight for the top 5. And currently we settle in 7th position. As drivers of note to watch out for. Trying to climb their
The
way
lead is
forward.
did on
Pressure tires for most of the field.
30.419.
Now back in 23rd position. Nick Crawford back in 29th position. He is the first of those that just took fresh tires under this most current yellow.
Vincent
That's up front.
perfectly moved me there.
To lead the rest of the field here. Place yourself to go forward. Here's Ken Handel. A few others just inside of our top 20 on trying to make big passes back and forth. Brian Noel, who once was inside of our
Sucks I
top
lost 2
5.
positions, but
Trying to get back into a fighting position.
that's pretty nice.
Top 20 currently.
Yeah, it's definitely an odd place that we don't see Brian Noel going that far back. He's usually up in the top 10 majority of the race. I mean, challenging and
I'm
fighting.
gonna have to write that down in my notebook.
He's definitely back in a spot not normally seen. Last Campbell on his outside. He was trying to keep him down there, get this run, and get around him. There's a lot of side-by-side racing back in the middle of the field. These guys are not giving anybody any kind of space to get them straight back out and get a single file.
Absolutely not. And a lot of this side-by-side cluster that's starting to coordinate its way backwards. It started around 12th place, where it was Pete Tart, Larry England. They were side-by-side for a quick moment. Now it's going to be fighting action behind Christopher Norris and Thomas Green and Colin Carroll as the 31 of the 4 just cannot find a way to get away from one another. They just continue to fight, claw back and forth. And Campbell, though, stays high. You're just seeing the difference. Some with the aggressive entry to turn 3, others trying to stay patient for a better exit at turn number 4. And those differing ideas of how you want to go into the corners have brought out a lot of issues. As Noel, quick moment through the grass, keeps it 3 wide, and Zach Hall is the one that backs out of that situation. He saw that it was a crazy spot. 32 is not happy over the radio as he'll lose over 5 positions because of that move by the 00, as they're still fighting ahead of him.
Yeah, Zach Hall, everyone just looked like they slowed way down, and Zach Hall just kind of almost shifted into the turn a little bit, getting close close to the 31's quarter panel. He decides to get out of it, get into the space, but doing so, like you said, lost 5 positions. That is a huge loss for Zachary Hall, who's having a pretty decent run tonight. But Cedric Hunter almost got turned by the 41 machine there, but he's able to keep it straight. It's just a big stack up again here in the middle of the field.
And it's another thing where Hall is the one that backs out of that situation because he's trying not to cause collisions, while others, they keep their momentum, they keep their space, and it's just continuing a loss of time for the 32. This has not been able to find his footing this season. Qualifying hasn't been there, and during the race, not able to really get inside of the top 10 where it feels like he should be running. Only Fonseca and go. I mean, we went from watching Hall battling inside of the top 15 to now almost outside the top 30 in just 2 laps because of those big checkouts.
30.897.
Rough season last year. Also, he was the defending champion last season. I mean, he was rocking the number 1 because he was the champion in season 9. Decided to take the number 1 for his car for season 10, and did not have a very good season. It's kind of looks like it's just kind of rolling over into this season as well. Looking forward to him to find some footing, but all I can say is going to get a nice little shove, try to get him back up through the field. Just unfortunate event there for a couple laps from Zachary Hall.
Where can you go? And it is just all picking up the line as Fonseca getting close. That's 22 of Colby DiCarlo, who's going to be on the outside. And
Ryan is running us down.
Is just getting absolutely destroyed. High, low, anywhere he can go. Only Fonseca sees an opening. He'll take the outside run to get by Hall as he marches forward. I'm looking at some of the battles, though, further up ahead.
I need a caution. Get tires.
Also, the 00 Brian Noel. This is the battle just inside of the top 15, but it's looking at the battling from 9th on back. Ross Tatum started 31st position. It hasn't been really a gamble on taking a set of tires here and staying out. That strategy call hasn't been it. It has been raw speed by Ross Tatum that's got him inside of the top 10. What a march by the 21 machine. And then Christopher Norris, he's now inside of the top 10 for the 38. They got to be careful though. Pete Tart, Shane Tarian, they seem to be on the march that they want to get inside of the top 10 and get by those 2.
Drivers all had been out on the track for 33 laps. These older tires are starting to slip away from them, but
7's losing his rear.
Taking it easy on the tires themselves. These drivers are taking it easy on the tires because they're the ones that are going to start moving forward.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Right now,
Line up single file. Pit road is closed.
He should be able to complete this pass.
Did we take him here?
On the backstretch going into 3, involving number 4, the 13, the 16.
My timing did. I let somebody go in from the yellow
and Larry Yingling as well, and it was the 4.
Oh, Larry got him now.
Just trying to make an aggressive 3-wide move where there was no space. And it collects multiple drivers that just continue to pile on. Even after the fact that drivers come to a halt. There you see the 4 finally able to get
time to do the other.
Well, I like the track position.
You just,
that was incredible. I got loose on the corner, fucking wall on the straightaway.
Some drivers are still in patient mode. Others say it is my time to go. Green light has been awarded.
This will be my last race, by the way, guys.
Tries to go for the pass on Yingling, and there's just no space. And here comes the wall of drivers piling in.
Huge damage for 3 of the drivers involved in this wreck. Joshua Kanata looks like he might have gotten a little bit of damage, but out of all 4 of them involved, looks like he might have been the one that got the least amount of damage. But yeah, just trying to get around.
I didn't have to be in the pit
lane. Had a run on the outside, tried to go through the middle there. Larry Yingling, he had a little bit of space. He could have done it.
I believe.
He just came down a little bit too much, involving Larry Yingling and pushing everyone back up the track into the 4 of Colin, the Cedric Hunter.
And here's another look at Larry Yingling's run. I believe he also got some extra damage after the fact. You're going to see the 67.
There are no more right side tires to put
there's
on.
A small
Line
tap
up single file.
into that 67. Just nowhere to go. And Kenny creeps his way through. Same for Justin Malarkey, but small little tap for the 72. That also just.
They took 4. That might be a
collecting some extra damage.
Decent call there.
In fact, pit road.
He didn't lose much taking 4. That's the problem.
And a couple of drivers taking a gamble. Some staying out, some taking 2 tires, others taking 4. And it is a bunch of different driver calls for a top 10. Going to be your top 4 deciding to stay out.
Gavin took 4.
Nick Crawford and Brad Delph, who was involved in that wreck, he will stay out. Cole Sacchetti on the oldest set of tires. He pitted.
Yeah, I got Wright's no fuel.
Ago. He will restart in third. And it's a 2-tire call made for John Forbes.
They try and be smart here on these older tires and new tires, but we know nobody here knows how to do that.
And then Gavin Rogers taking 4 sets of tires for
Wishful
himself.
thinking.
Same for Nico Garcia. And then the last driver to take 2 was Jared
Wait,
Tolman.
did you say smart?
12. But our top 4, Richard, this is a gamble. And I'm more scared
Yeah, no,
of probably
man,
the 29 who does go into pit road.
Line up on the outside
So I should be much faster than
I don't know
them.
if this is the smartest call by these.
John's in
drivers.
front of me. I really just need to follow him. He's on 2
to get
tires.
tires. I mean, 36
Yeah,
level tires.
neither
are
one of the
just
S's in
gonna fall
WSSR
like a
stand
rock.
for smart.
It's not even worth staying out at all.
What the
So
fuck
he's gonna
is
go
a
in and get the
smart one?
tires.
They're only on
Speaking
16
French?
lap old tires though, so they're not old.
Cole Sacchetti. But all I can say, Nick Crawford.
Top 3
Brad
cars
Delph,
should do pretty
16
good here,
tires.
I'm
That's
thinking.
still pretty old for these tires. But if they save, they might be able to hold off for
Really,
a little bit. I don't think they're
just
gonna
need
be
to stay
able
out of
hold off
trouble,
very
I think.
long. We still have just under.
Because this is similar to the Atlanta race where I was in a really good position and I got
two-tire call
wrecked.
might be the one that's going to win this race, and it might be something Gavin Rogers looks back on and be like, maybe I should have took 2 instead of 4.
I mean, it certainly is a call that can help you out in the short run. I'm curious on the long run how that's going to work out if we can stay clean and green. Update
We
on
only got
why the 20 laps
22 from here, and they're going to be
he entered a close
aggressive.
missed his first opportunity to go in. If you don't
Hi, John.
with that group initially, you are not even go back.
Hi,
in.
Nick. Don't in your tires.
Get ready.
You already pitted and top
Please
off.
be gentle. I didn't have any tires.
You should be given a end of the line penalty with pitting late. See how well that
The pace car is in.
re-attack with that penalty. Other drivers at the end of the line, Larry Youngling.
Green flag, green flag.
To get an end of the line penalty with his
The lead
extra
is
damage.
32.062. You got one inside. Yeah, man, you're back.
Or
Stay
will they
high.
fall backwards?
You're
Brad Delph not able
up
to
top
take
3
off the
wide.
goal.
You're all
On the
clear.
inside,
Clear all
it's
around.
Ollie
You got
Fonseca.
one inside.
Nick Crawford,
2 wide there.
John Forbes.
You're up top
Where do
3
you
wide.
go? The
Inside,
72
2
is
wide there.
still blocking.
What in the world?
Hold your line.
As low as he
Inside,
can.
2
Watch
wide
out
there.
as they are all
Still there.
ping-ponging
Hold
around
your
the
line.
72.
3 wide,
That
you're
is
in the middle.
underpowered.
Inside,
And
2
just
wide
in
there.
survival mode
Still
on
there.
exit turn 2.
All clear, all clear.
Delph literally falling like a rock. He is falling all the way back to the 18, almost out of the top 20. Not able to get
got one
that
inside.
car under control. Just that little slip up.
All clear, all clear.
Remember, he
Inside.
made contact with Larry Youngling during that last
Stay high.
session. He has slight damage he's dealing with on top of older tires.
Stay
He's
high.
trying to stay out of the way. He'll stay high. We'll see how well they can do that. Up front, Ollie Fonseca doing his
high.
best with old tires. This is the ahead. Not going to be the case as John Forbes. Fresh rubber. He might have only taken 2, but it's good enough to
Stay
get
high.
up to the point.
On the low
Forbes
side.
That
leads
sucks.
away. Vincent Soar trying to follow in soon as well. Same with Ryan Kelly. They're just stuck
You're up
with
top
the fact
3
that
wide.
those older tires, Ollie Fonseca, Nick
Hold your
Crawford,
line.
they're keeping decent
Why am I in
speed,
third?
but
Holy crap.
fast as
Hold
the
your
run
line.
goes on.
He's just going to keep on falling back. He's not going to really be able
Hold
to
your
fit
line.
these spots very well. It's a sword.
You got one inside. 2 wide there. Inside, 2 wide there. You're up top 3 wide. Inside, 2 wide there. All clear, all
That
clear.
3 wide didn't work.
The
All right,
tires
man.
aren't
Caution
too
is out.
terribly
Caution
old,
is
so
out.
maybe
Line up
by the
single
time he
file.
gets back
Pit road is
into like the
closed.
10th to
Past
15th
the
spot,
31,
the tires
past
might plateau
the,
and even out a little bit.
past
They might
the,
go to 50, but we got another
72,
caution.
past the,
Sorry,
Every
Nick.
time.
As well as
past
Brian
the 2,
Can.
past
When I
the,
say every time, this time in Atlanta.
And just
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was
finding
about to say you
those
started, dude. I was trying to give you guys
side by
much
side.
room. I
It
just didn't want to hit
looked
the
like
grass.
Cody Reed, they got squeezed up Shane
past the
Terrian.
13,
And
past
the
the,
25
That's expected.
frustrated.
Did I get my spots back?
Involved with this one.
past the
Cody
31, past
almost
the,
getting more
past the
drivers
17,
involved with
past
this
the,
race. We'll take a closer look
98,
at what
past
initially
the,
brought
past
out
the
this
53,
number.
past
And
the,
I mean,
past the 22,
this is a worst-case
past the,
scenario
past
if you're the
the
25,
50, past the,
as
past
he's
the
just going
20,
to be
past
the
the,
meat stuck in the middle. Nowhere to
32,
go.
past the, past
Yeah,
the
he got a little
14,
loose,
past
tried
the,
to shoot
past
through the middle. Shane Terrian
82,
also got a
past
little
the,
loose,
past
but
the 15,
yeah, that's what
past
happens.
the
3
15,
wide
car
coming out
by.
of turn 4, and just Cody Reed let the car go.
Cody, I'm sorry. I did not know we were going to be 3 wide exit in the corner. I was just moving up
Get
to,
hit again?
like we
Yeah,
normally
he
do
hit
side by
Delph
side.
with that. Is almost
That's on me.
Cedric
I'm
Hunter as
sorry.
well.
I know Cedric Vocal over the radio. Always hear a driver shout, hold the brake, but some do, some don't. Delph expected the 25 to hold it, and he did graze. Did get some contact corner, big slide for the 2. Luckily, he didn't get into that outside wall, but got scary close to it. And both the 2 as well. It's the 72 will race on our Cedric Hunter's point of view. Is used the first contact to see where was Cody. And Cody was high, he was high, he was high, now he's low.
Yeah, that's just not controlling that car. Like, you need to get on your brakes when you're involved in a wreck like that.
That all started with that red car you guys were talking about.
Really be a major issue. That, you know, not under your control.
Well, the red car's what messed me up and got me back there, and then we were 3 wide, and I was in the 3 wide wreck.
That's something you don't want to do. It's going to involve drivers that don't need to be getting involved in an accident that they were nowhere close to being involved with.
We got Tyler Wren out there asking the bold question. That's Tyler Dangler. I know Tyler is just baiting, as him and Brad Delph have had their issues last week at Dover. Asking the question, is that 72 ARCA braking? No, I would not say that was an ARCA brake. That was more of how could you predict Cody coming back down? A slight raise there, but back to the current race at the moment. We've got ourselves coming down. When we go green, it's going to be about 15 laps to go. And Richard, we got the 2 tire calls, we got the 4 tire calls. I'm looking at Ollie. I'm also looking at Nick Crawford. They pitted for Ollie 4 times, for Crawford over 7. I'm curious if maybe they used up all 4 sets they had at pit road. That's why they had to stay out. That's the only thing that I could think of on why they're staying out as long as they are. And the fact that they have no more sets to use, that could be the reasoning why. Wait for the base car lights to go off, then we'll be given the 1 to go indicator. But I mean, if that's the case, they are stuck in a rough
Then I got mixed up on my shift and pulled it into 3rd for some reason.
Or even if they have tires in the pits at this point, they'd have at least 1 set, at the most 1 set.
All right, man, we're going green next time by. All right, man, line up on the inside row.
Made their bed right now. They just kind of got to lay in it. There's not much they could do, because if they pit now, they're dropping all the way back to like the 34th, 35th position, if not even worse.
Hopefully this damage don't slow me up too much.
They're just, as long as they can hold on, they
steering wheel's good.
If not even just
motor's
a little
good.
Bit better than that. So I mean, right now they just gotta hold on to those.
Quite a bit of damage on the left front.
Those cars, and you know, hope those tires are being nice to them.
Hoping for the best. It's going to be the Nightmare Fuel teammates, though. Going to be 1, 2.
Really just got to dodge the big one here, because there's going to be more of them.
That we have seen many a times between these 2 late in the race, 1, 2, and usually we've been seeing here of recent, it is John Forbes, the one that takes the win at the end of the day. As Vincent, so we're going to be hoping for a good launch. I think we can probably close the poll of who we think's going to win. As 56% calling John Forbes of our 4 drivers that we threw out an hour ago. 6% for both Larry Yingling and Zach Hull, and then the 31% for 75.
Get ready.
We got Rogers has got to find a way to move forward. Problem, he's got Ollie Fonseca directly in front of him. It's going to be a tough restart for that 75 crew. See how well it can take off and go.
Green.
Get prepared. 15 laps to go.
The
grass to us.
7, 8, got 1 outside.
You're talking 150 is back underway.
Hold your line.
Forbes with a good launch. Sora keeping it close. And Gavin Rogers is trying to woo that 24 moving forward. Well, let's go 3 wide down to turn 1.
Still there?
Wasting no time to try to get around Ollie Fonseca in order for
Perhaps hold me back.
Challenge for that lead again. He's got to get around Ollie quick, and that's exactly what he's going
All right,
to
man,
do.
caution is out. Caution is out.
We're doing 2 spots.
He's able to stick it to the inside. He's going to get around Ollie this turn. But now Ollie Fonseca is going to keep Ryan Kelly, but we've got another caution out.
It's the 41, and it's Rochelle. And it's another entry into turn number 3 of trouble. And hey, it's a driver we haven't talked about on the lead lap yet. It's the 50 machine of Samuel Garcia poking the nose to the inside. Trying to get behind this.
It is amazing that we literally went almost completely green during the playoffs there. Other than
that's just a tough call to
with
make.
35
You're
plus
late in the
cars,
race. We talk about giving space early on in that first half, but they're not going to be giving up the space. It's going to be the 41.
Zach's mad.
And
I will say there's an obvious denominator here, but
they were expecting a lot more green flag racing tonight. But I mean, it's Les Garcia. Like, you were down 5 laps all.
No, why do you have a back
conscience?
conscience?
Lead lap. The laps are
I mean, I would
down
say
to
you're
the
probably
end of
right about
this
Shane, but
race.
at the same time, we haven't enough laps to make the car bounce.
It's
It's
time to move. It's time to get up and try to move your way down.
It's literally just people just over fucking doing it, man. Just
you can.
you literally, if you just wait, you will fucking make
Use the weather. I know that it's tough. Drivers
mute it.
Little text chat that only drivers and spectators can see. Drivers are complaining about the weather. They're saying, hey, they would have preferred a night race over a day race, and see the temps. Air temperature has gone up. It's now 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
Damn, he's still going.
Degrees. Start up at 118 degrees Fahrenheit.
I don't have a mute driver button. I need to.
And I know for some drivers, they've gotten used to that weather. Some, it's warmer than what maybe they're used to.
Damn, he's still going.
WSSR, it's always on the warmer side that they want to put these cars in. Make the cars as difficult as you can as drivers.
The further in the season we go, the more people got close to getting major penalties for incident points or whatever, all that stuff, and I think fucking people's assholes just pucker up later in the season.
I guess, like you said, it make the cars a little harder to
drive.
Unfortunately,
it just seems like
was
there's a lack
always
of
one of
care
my biggest
at the
things that I didn't care for is the lack of how can you say? I guess the temperature differences is every track is extremely hot. Because I mean, even a Dover, which is a track you wouldn't expect to be extremely hot, is always it was really hot last week. So, but yeah, it adds another factor to these drivers. They have to be able to keep these tires cool as much as they possibly can. Because the hotter these tires are, the less grip they have, and the more they start to wear.
we're going green next time by.
A factor that seems to be a little unbearable for a lot of these drivers tonight.
It's unbearable for some. Others are taking it to success. With all these cautions that are coming out, it's helping out those that decide.
Let's see what 10 laps looks like at the end of the race here.
They are taking full advantage of the fact that they are still inside of the top 10. See how well this might help them moving forward as racers are getting prepared for this upcoming.
Those 4 tires work for Gavin.
They're watching. We want to say thank you. I know we've been getting a few more popping in and watching as this race has gone on. We highly appreciate it. If you would like and also comment, who are you rooting for? And if you're liking the broadcast, liking the racing action you're seeing, remember to hit the like button on this race. It helps get more eyes on the race for WSSR and ISRC Truck Series. The more eyes that are watching, the more sponsorships that these leagues can get, and the more rewards the drivers can have, and more eyes. Also, it just helps everyone to have a better chance, maybe get more drivers involved with this series and more talent. Better racing action as well. As we get ourselves prepared to go back to racing action, it is going to be 11 laps to go run for
Get ready.
Sora.
This is going to be fun.
He's going to be up front this go around though. Gavin Rogers is going to be second in line on the inside. And I'm expecting a big run from the 75 on this restart. Jared Talmadge lingering back. See if
green flag
helps him on this restart or not. Same for Ollie Fonseca. Looks like both of them are trying to set up for a good launch here.
Outside.
As we enter the restart zone, your Cody Blimcox
Stay low,
talking 150 is back underway here in Texas. As it is all fours, all Sora, and it's side by side for third place on that.
Stay low. You're clear high. Clear high.
3 wide back there for the 6th place area as well, 7th and 8th. But Gavin Rogers finally getting around Ollie Fonseca. Now he's going to try and chase down the leaders with 77 Drew Jua behind the number 27 Jared Talmadge. He's trying to make a move and get around these guys as well. And they're going to take Ollie Fonseca 3 wide only on those older tires. It's looking like he's not going to be able to maintain a lot of these positions as they're all struggling to
3 wide, you're in the middle.
Lead that lap.
Hold your line. Clear. All clear, all clear.
Ryan Kelly trying his best to get on the outside. Ollie Fonseca doing everything in his power to keep the position, not the good pace.
Yeah, one outside.
Back. Now he's got to be careful because he's
still there.
Nothing is right behind you.
Is where they're already 3 wide.
Still there.
The force of 4 wide.
Stupid nutty ass.
Continues to linger and fall backwards. Trouble is
Still there.
afoot. Where will it fall? Can we stay green? Kelly into the wall as we continue to race on.
29.82. Still there.
Going to be the fastest lap
All
of the
clear,
race.
all clear.
Give it to Vincent Sora with his 2-tire call that he made 15
Still
laps
there.
ago.
Hold your line.
Sora getting the fastest lap. He's
You're
got
clear high,
Gavin
clear high.
Rogers right there in his shadow. It is 2 teammates again, 1, 2, and Gavin Rogers in third. Shades of Dover here in Texas. Gavin is looking to get around these two. He wants this over win. He's still got about a little less than 10 laps to do. It's 8 laps to go. Time's ticking down. He's got to get a move made, make a dive, and a gamble move to get around Vincent Sora and chase down Ron Ford.
Top three running in the same position that they were at the end of last week's race at Dover. It was John Forbes, it was Vincent Sora, and Gavin Rogers. A slight slip
Yeah, one
inside by Vincent Sora that cost them an opportunity to fight to get by this one machine. Will tonight at a 1.5-mile course, a track that Vincent Sora has won back in season 9. That was on the Legacy course. He looked quick then. He also won back in season 6. And an incredible pass getting by Zach Hall in the final 3 laps tonight. But Vincent Sora found a little bit more magic to become a 3-time Texas winner here in the WSSR BRS Cup Series. Where can John Forbes get himself etched into the history books of winning at this course? Across the line, 6 laps to go for Forbes.
Stay high. Jared Talmadge has closed the gap to Gavin Rogers, and he's got Drew Jua in tow as well. So the top 5, any one of these drivers can win this race still. It's just who's going to make it.
You get freight train because of Ollie. That sucks.
Other person and set someone up. Gavin Rogers still looking at the back of Vincent Sora. He really wants this over win. He's trying to find position to be able to make that pass.
5 to go, and you talk about the creep rising to the top. The top 6 drivers, and here they were at the end of last week's race, they are currently in the top 6 for a quick second. Christopher is fighting back, trying to break off Ryan Kelly and keep him fighting for the 6th place spot. Not a chance to kind of run down our top 5. They seem to be in their own zip code. It's going to be really about who makes it minimize the mistakes here late. 4 to go. Kelly's still fighting with Norris, who's on the inside groove. Ryan Noel still in the fight. Nico Garcia trying to have one of his best finishes of the season. Garcia's best finish this season.
I don't have the turn-in like I used to have.
All the way back at Atlanta. Could tonight be the night that he gets a top 10 run as he now moves up into 8th place?
Doing a fantastic job finding the spots to be able to make the moves, but he's kind of stuck behind Christopher Norris and Ryan Kelly right now. These guys are all side by side. We saw Cliff Fonseca just have to my eye there, gets a little loose. Ryan Kelly gets turned by Christopher Norris, but they keep it straight. No, there's so many Garcia involved as well.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a virtual car.
There's a Kareem across the field. Drivers trying to hold their brakes. Some able to, some not. And the big one late as we're headed to overtime.
Massive wreck at the end of the front straightaway.
We should all be
started as they entered the front straight out of the corner.
This is ridiculous.
The quarter panel of Kelly. Kelly might have came across his nose. They got a little sideways, but it caused the stack up, and then Kelly.
It's a second place guy that hadn't been in a wreck yet, complaining.
Garcia, then up the track they go, involving multiple drivers, as drivers just could not dodge the situation.
And then there goes Nico off the nose of Brian P. Johnson. What was going to be his best finish of the season. Throw it away. Ken Campbell, Zach Hall, everyone trying to find an opening to get through, and it was all the wrong ones as drivers continue to pile in, others sliding through the wreck, and we are heading to overtime. Our first of 3 attempts of view, and here's another look at it from the blimp view in the chopper cam to get a sense of was there net code or was this just a full-blown hit. As drivers were exiting out of the corner, it was the same issue we've seen a couple of times. A little rough to see there if it was netcode or not, but Richard, I mean, hard wreck for all, but it was the coming across the track part that collected more drivers that you hate to see.
Yeah, and even Norris right there, he was on the brakes. Same thing with Nick Renner earlier. Norris on the brakes. You have so much speed coming down to that or out of that front stretch, and that grass, it doesn't really slow you down very much. So once he finally got on the asphalt, that's when the car wanted to finally start slowing down, but still so much speed. And you see Ross Tatum there just at the top of the screen. He was in massive damage, nose to the wall, and he ended up towing. But some massive spins there, some massive hits by
that start at?
Drivers. And Nico Garcia
that was Ryan.
Have one of his strongest finishes tonight. That chance.
I don't know what Ryan's rearview mirror looks like, but I know he's single screen, so he can't see much.
and it ricochets him right down to the inside. And that will bring out a couple of more drivers. Norris, Kelly, Tatum, all.
So now 32 and 15 have pretty good damage, so that's going to hold us up.
Evening.
They're going to be side by side.
Rough sight to see. Lights are still on. We are still under pacing. But here's your scenario. You've got John Force, Vincent Sork, Kevin Rogers, Jared Thomas, Drew Jua going to be your top 5, with Brian Noel going to be in 6th position. 7th is Shane Terry with Brian B. Johnson. 8th. 9th is Pete Guitar and Nico Garcia. Even with that spill, he is currently in 10th place, was able to get those positions back with how much damage has that 71 collected for himself.
Then there's a caution.
Given the one to go indicator as we're under our first attempt at overtime. Will be a green, white checkered attempt. 2 laps to go. When we go green, it'll be
I say that, but I'll be the one to call it.
Flag. Then when this race will become official, and it's whoever crosses the line next. But if we get a caution under this first lap, that will send us into our second attempt at overtime. Richard, I mean, it's honestly a hold your breath moment because we can see a wreck up front with the big boost we've seen. It could be in the middle, it could be in the back. This is going to be a chaotic restart that I got a feeling we might be a second, maybe a third attempt at overtime.
No, it's very possible.
Because we don't have Jesse
the aggression has been through the roof tonight. And Sam, I know we raced last night in another race, and I don't know if it's a full moon outside or not, but this is 2 back-to-back races that I've witnessed that it's just been a
we don't have Jesse Wuji, but we have all the fun
race, and both tracks are different styles also. So tonight has just been caution after caution. I know the drivers.
See if we can get a top 10. Doubt it, but let's see.
High pacing is what they like to say. Green flag racing is what this league really prides itself over, but it is now overtime, and these drivers, the aggression's going to go even further through the roof. Who's going to be able to make the moves and get the positions needed? Gavin Rogers is going to be chasing Forbes and sort of the teammates on the front row to try and chase that win. And Jared Thomas also in the mix.
Brian McCann has broken the streak of having to around every racetrack. Will John Force break the streak and become the first multi-time winner for season 11?
Yeah,
it's time to find out. First attempt at overtime. Can we keep it clean and green? Let's find out. As the Cody Glenn Blacks here talking 150 is underway, and Forbes, great launch for himself. Sora has to slot himself in line. The teammates are trying to pull away from the battling side by side of Jared Talmadge and Gavin Rogers. Talmadge is going
Zach is going to be big mad now.
And let the teammates fight it on as caution flag looms. We're wrecking behind. It's Hall, it's Irizarry, and we're going to overtime attempt number 2.
Overtime attempt number 2 is going to happen. Nico Garcia, all that damage on his car. He's just trying to hold on. Got tight out of the turn, got up into the wall, which caused Zach Hall to try and dodge him, but turned
more complaining
across the nose.
I want to hear Zach, not Ollie.
Inside wall.
Hang it up!
Unfortunate
not Ollie.
to see Zach Hall
talking to me?
having another rough race. He is
at least wait till last lap when you need some repositions. Come on.
No, he is not. Very vocal over the radio of the driver channel, and
Can we just skip the one to go?
Frustrated with how the night has gone, and it just continues to blossom into a flower he does not want to see.
I might get a top 10 now.
Take another look at it.
Possible.
Irizarry. Hall was already dealing with a lot of front-end damage. We know that Nico was also dealing with damage because he was involved in the last wreck that put us into overtime. Those tires were gone. The wall was calling, and
a couple more on them.
For the 32.
That hit almost sounded like a slap.
On Hall.
Might even be a top 5.
There. He needs every
Exactly.
point.
That was me. I'm sorry,
Zach
bud.
is not in a comfortable position point-wise when you look at how the schedule looks.
Nah, I think it was Netco. I don't know. I think someone else hit the wall and it just like Netco's fucking shot me in the
He needs every point if he wants to go after this chase. He might miss out if he continues to have a season like this continuing on. Now, we say that. Vincent Sora, who's in second,
okay, that one was a little too hard.
He had a very similar trajectory that Hall is having currently. Was back in the 40s position in points. He went on an incredible run that put him in the into the playoff run. We'll see if Hall can find that same magic. It just won't start here tonight at Texas. We have Portland next week, where we know Hall can be good at road courses. We'll see if his luck changes there. But tonight, we're at overtime attempt number 2, as the drivers are stacked up, ready to get back to racing as soon as possible. As our front 4, front 6, they are already side by side, and they know it's go time. Gotta say, we're still waiting for the lights to go off to give us the one to go indicator.
Well, I do get the inside line.
Your second attempt at overtime. If you're anyone up front, what
Pretty sure Ken in front of me has
to
damage.
make any passes, if it's even possible.
The problem they're having is just Forbes and Sora are getting such a great launch off the restart that they get such a big lead that when Talmadge and Gavin Rogers are side by side for almost an entire turn and straightaway, they're just losing so much time to those front guys. They've got to get settled in. They got to get straightened back out and try to keep that gap, get on that gas pedal as quick as you can when that restart happens. But when you got teammates on the front row and they have control of the start of the race, they can time it over their voice chat and they can get that jump. It's just who's got the faster reaction. If Gavin Rogers can, or Jared Talmadge even can get a fast reaction as soon as they hear that car go, then they might be able to keep up on the bumper and challenge those guys. But I mean, it's going to be really hard to pass Forbes and Sora with the way they've been controlling this race.
It certainly will, with Jared also being a part of that Nightmare Fuel team. All three of them can time this restart and pull away if they would like. Well, we are again getting ready. Lights are off. We're going this time by your overtime rules. We are in overtime attempt number 2. It is going to be a 2-lap to go scenario when we go green. If we get a caution under this first lap before taking the white flag, we will go to overtime attempt number 3. If we take the white flag and the racing continues on without a yellow, it is free game. It is all about who crosses the line first, and we've seen the teammates play nice. Is tonight a similar window? Are you willing to let John Forbes just take complete control and go back-to-back, winning at Dover and then here at Texas? Or will Vincent Soar, Jared Talmadge try to spoil their teammates' night? Nightmare Fuel 1, 2, 3.
Let's see what happens.
Rolling in fourth with Drew Jua, Shane Tarian, as well as Brian Noel and Steve Ryan P. Johnson. Tart and Ken Campbell, your top
One disappeared. That's lovely.
Attempted overtime. Thank you for joining with us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Is this the last restart? Do we have another one? Your 20 led pass. Beer talking 150 is back underway. Teammates take off. Gavin Rogers is stalling. Just your top 3 looking good, but the top 2 stay side by side down into turn 1.
Gavin Rogers did not have a strong start there, that top 3, but we got a caution again, overtime number 3.
Oh, we got 10th that time.
Ryan P. Johnson spun around. He was inside of the top 10, and he blinked out. Oh, no. He just completely disappeared. And
is that the blinked out car that did it?
This is going to be an awkward look at this restart. You're going to see everyone in line, but he blinks out there, right when we're taking the green. And then he's gone for the whole straightaway. Everyone's confused. Where is Johnson? Where is Johnson? Don't worry, he'll pop up. The only problem, he's going to be completely spun around, tossed around, and spit out on the outside lane as the field goes into turn 1. There goes the 28, going for a ride on the outside.
Yeah, that's downside about the internet racing here is Brian P. Johnson. It just doesn't have a very strong connection. Disappears from everybody's view, and then nobody knows where he is. Like, he can still see he's on track, but they don't know where he is, and someone might have gotten into him, and when he finally reappeared, he was spinning all over the place up against that outside wall. It's just a strange situation.
Yeah, he reappeared wrecking.
Attempt at overtime.
That's crazy.
And you know, when you go to 3 overtimes, that caution that comes out with on the after the green flag, that will be the end of the race. Or they take the white flag.
Is it the next day yet?
Checkered flag.
You are correct. If this overtime attempt is our final restart of the night, we will finish this race under green or under yellow. And it is going to be a tough one because if we, like I said, get a caution under this first lap before taking the white flag, this race will end under yellow, and it's based off wherever iRacing deems you need to be finishing at the time of the yellow flag being thrown. And then if we take the white flag, it is back to what I said. It is gloves out, and it is going to be a fight to see who can cross the line first as everyone gets prepared. Lights are still on, so we're still going to pace for another lap here. But, Richard, I mean, look at the field. Is there anyone that you feel like is a shock or surprise? Or do you feel like this is pretty much where you expected most of these guys to be at the end of this race?
I think for the most part, it's about where I expected everyone to be, but I've got 2 names I want to call out real fast. Pete Tart in 8th position. That is a fantastic run for that driver, who also has not had a superb start to this season. But also, the driver that disconnected 40 laps into this race was 5 laps down and is now back on the lead lap. Samuel S. Garcia up to 12th position.
Samuel got to 12th?
Top 10. His
Dang.
dream can come true tonight after being 5 laps down.
Yeah, I mean, 5 laps down. He watched all the competition wreck out, and he just continued to just keep himself out there.
All right, man, we're going green next time. Bye. All right, man, line up on the outside road now.
And he has just continued to stay out there on track. Lights should be turned off. It's going to give us the 1 to go indicator.
Let's guess where the caution's going to come out on this one.
He's had pretty similar to Nico Garcia. His best finish was,
I think we'll make it through 1 and 2.
28th. Since then, Rockingham 37th. Last week at Dover,
I bet the leaders,
first. It has been a
top
rough
6,
start.
somebody in the top 6 is going to wreck out of 4
Changing his hopes and having a chance
in the
to
trial.
reset his
But it's
season
going to be late,
here tonight. Looking at
and somebody's going to cross the start-finish line.
Still, they're going to be
Massive pile up, but we're going to get the white flag.
We've seen with John Forbes, Vincent Sordo.
That's what I'm thinking that's going to happen.
Side. That last restart, it was a slip up by Sora that gave an opportunity for Forbes to pull away before that caution flag came out. Sora needs a clean run off the exit of this corner. Keep it close. Have a chance. Yeah, this is our 3rd and final restart of the night. If we get a caution under this first lap, this race is over under yellow. If we take the white flag, this race is going to be on whoever crosses the line first. It's been a pleasure to give you the call. It's been a long night, a lot of cautions, a lot of wrecks, but ultimately, it's been some fun racing to watch up front. It's time to see who will win race number 4 for season 11 of the WSSR VRS Cup Series. Last restart, hopefully you're ready. It's the Cody Glenn Cox. We are far here talking 150. Here we go. It's John Forbes, Jared Talmadge, and Drew Jua pushing that inside lane going forward.
A huge launch for that inside lane, and that shows Drew Jua almost up to 3rd position. Gavin Rogers is going to drop down to that inside lane now just in front of Shane Terry, and he is starting to drop a little bit. But John Forbes,
I got tight.
Control of
Big tight.
lead, but his teammate Jared Talmadge almost looked to the inside.
I got wheel damage.
The white flags are coming out of
Oh no, I ain't going to make it this turn.
That's what John Forbes is hoping to see as a yellow finish his race, but a white flag. The drivers behind him still have a chance to win. This is they're crashing on the front stretch, but we've already taken the white flag.
They're wrecking behind. It's Cody Reed, that's Christopher Wade, and Zach Hall going to be caught up in trouble. But it's John Forbes up front. Can he keep this position? Does Jared Talmadge have any type of speed? Will Vincent Sordo help him? They're not. They're blocking further behind. John Forbes, he was last season's champion. You thought that maybe there was going to be a championship curse on the 1. Strip that away. Make him a multi-time winner.
I'm sorry.
Forbes wins
13.
Texas as they crash.
Only lost 3 hitting the wall, so I guess that's all right.
I'm so sorry. My
Massive
shit, I
win
literally
for Forbes, back-to-back.
All right, I'm out later.